Hey friends, welcome to Gowns and Gimlets. This is Bustle Bridal's podcast about my two favorite things in the world, weddings and cocktails. Today we had Randee and Hannah from the Floral Cottage. We talk about pocket square, flowers, we talk about floral wedding gowns, how our jobs aren't real, and what it's like to employ people in the wedding industry. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Bustle Bridal. You can check them out at the Floral Cottage Florist and go to our website, bustlebatonrouge.com. Pour yourself a cocktail and enjoy the show.
My first job was the Floral Cottage.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, was it like a shitty entry-level job? Or like, was it hard, you hated it? Or did you love it?
I mean, I loved it because it was like easy in the sense that like it was familiar because I grew up, my mom did it my whole life. But it was not easy in the sense that like I knew what I was doing right away. I still had to like, you know, process the flowers and do the deliveries and do all the unsavory stuff.
Yeah.
That nobody wanted to do.
Right.
My first day at this job was fucking horrible. I went home and cried in my bathtub.
Okay. That's usually how the best stories start. What happened? Like, why was it so bad?
My first day.
She also lied on her resume, so.
Queen.
We were moving a storage, like, stuff out of a storage unit to the shop. And Randee had this, like, old-ass van that, like, no way your insurance company knew about that van. Because they would not have insured it.
It was insured. It was fine.
You're a liar. Danielle was driving me, and we pulled out onto Highway 42, and it stopped.
Which is like scary in itself.
It stopped.
Okay.
It would not go. She had to like throw it in reverse and like use the tiny little bit of like gas levers that she had to like throw us back into the driveway. We had to push the van into a parking spot. And still, like, it was like August.
Yeah.
It was 1,000,000,000,000 degrees outside. We moved this entire storage unit to the warehouse. I was like, I quit.
So did you like go home and you were like, this is the hardest job I've ever had, and like this is what it's gonna be like every day, and I hate it? Okay.
Yeah.
So why'd you show back up again?
Yeah.
I don't know. I already quit my other job. I was like, fuck, I'm stuck.
You didn't quit all the way. You were like, I'm going to go back to my restaurant job on the weekends, and you never did.
Yeah.
It got better.
Here too.
It got better.
Yeah.
I tell Sarah all the time that I'm really lucky that I got hired here because I was working at another store and I was just so miserable for quite a few reasons. And I had my working interview here, and after a series of genuine misunderstandings, I walked away going, I'm so getting this job. And I now know that those were genuine misunderstandings.
Okay.
Reese had apparently, so Reese is our little intern. And
She's in high school. She's a Nepo hire. Like, her mom is my friend. And I brought her on just to like run dresses back to the rack, like just help clean up in the store. And she had been here for like 2 weeks.
Yes, and keep in mind, at this point, I had been working in bridals since I was like a teenager. And I was like, I know what I'm doing. I understand how a store functions, and I understand like what would be expected of me and every other person that works there, right? And I walked up to first I walked up to Bella is like the silliest goose you'll ever meet. She no longer works here because she moved to Arizona. But I walked
Different Bella.
Yeah, different Bella.
Yeah.
I walked up to Bella and I said, how do you guys do the trains? And I meant because I've worked in enough places to know some stores hang them on the outside of the dress, some hang them on the inside, some hang them on the side of the hanger, you know? And she goes, usually about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you can take a bride. And I went, how do you do the train? And then she immediately like walked away from me to go keep doing her job. And I went, she is not locked in right now.
That is so funny.
And then I walked up to Reese, and I was holding a dress. And I know, like, stores organize their inventory differently. Some are going to do it by designer. Some are going to do it by size, by style, whatever. And I held up a dress, and I said, where does this dress go? Because I was informed that you are the person that is in charge of running things back to the rack.
Right.
She had been hired a week before that. Oh. She only works on Saturdays. This was her first Saturday without Sarah's supervision.
That is so funny.
So I asked her, I said, as the person responsible for this, where does this dress go? And she goes, I don't know, I've just been kind of putting them wherever. And oh, they need me over there. I said, I have the most experience, gotta be, because what do you mean? Like,
right. Absolutely cracks me up.
Yeah, and I literally no call, no showed my job.
Yeah.
I was, and I've never done that at a place of employment before. I was just so miserable there, and I was just like, I'm not going there again. I just had this working interview, and they're desperate for something.
Right.
Like me.
They need me.
I started working, and I went, oh, I'm really lucky they hired me. I genuinely just misunderstood. I was just like, oh, and
Well,
that,
you didn't
like
know
that's
that.
Bella's personality. She's just that type of person who will mishear you, say something back, and then get distracted and go do her job.
That's so
somewhere
funny.
else. And Reese had only been there for a week. I thought Reese was like 19. I did not know she was a teenager.
Yeah.
I was like,
She was like 14 at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe 15.
Yeah.
Like absolute Nepo hire. And now she knows a
Hannah's
little
a
bit
Nepo
more.
hire, kind of.
Are you?
Yep.
and you had the audacity to hate your job on the first day.
I know.
And also to lie on your resume? Come on.
Always
like-
a Nepo hire saying, I don't know, I just put them wherever.
I don't know.
She lied and said she could lift 30 pounds.
Oh, you can
Liar.
look at her and tell that's not real.
Liar.
Can you now though? Like, have you like
You know
resistance
who
training
does the
with
heavy lifting?
Who?
Me.
Yeah.
Me. I do the heavy lifting. She does all the delicate work.
I'm there for fun.
I Hulk smash everything.
I'm there for
and
things
she's
that
like,
Randee would destroy
Yeah.
with her Hulk hands.
You're like the delicate, like
Yeah.
It works out. It
Yeah.
balances out. I'm like, you check off the order, make sure this is right. I will lift everything and organize it. So.
But don't we always do all the heavy lifting? Like physical labor, mental labor. We're doing all the heavy lifting, all the thinking.
Yes, constantly.
Constantly. Okay, so you were a speech pathologist, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so like when you were little, because your mom owned how old were you when your mom started Floral Cottage?
The Floral Cottage started when I was 15, but she
Okay.
did floral design my whole life.
Okay.
You know, off and on.
Okay, so was there ever a point where you were like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a florist?
Yes, I always wanted to do something creative, but my
Yeah.
mom drilled it into my brain from a very young age that I had to go to college and get a good job.
Yeah.
So I was like, this isn't even an opportunity. I'm not going to do this
Yeah.
because that's not going to fall into that category.
Yeah.
So then I got my job and I was fine. I enjoyed it when I did it, but I got married and I got pregnant for my first daughter, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is my opportunity to get out.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I told everybody I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom,
Uh-huh.
and I really did, and I tried it, but it just wasn't fulfilling creativity wise.
Yeah.
So I then kind of jumped back in, and my
Yeah.
mom was kind of semi-retired at that time.
Yeah.
So I just started with social media and started working part-time, and eventually
Like,
built it up.
yeah, took it on. So your mom still works there.
Mhm.
Okay, what does she do? Like, what's her capacity there? What does she do?
She works part-time as a floral designer.
Okay.
She's just freelance. Comes
She's my
in.
part-time grandmother.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Hannah and her are tight.
Are we filming right now?
Yeah.
When did that start?
When you got here,
Oh, God.
You didn't realize that? Like, he's got headphones
Well, I heard
on.
your customer service voice, and I was like, wait.
you really are autistic.
I said that! And she didn't listen. She never listens to me.
It's our little trick.
Wait,
It's
I
our
was
little
just
trick.
sitting.
We just start talking.
I was just sitting right here, completely zoned the fuck out. Like,
She probably was about to hit her, baby.
no, literally, like, cut that. My eyes are watering.
It's our little trick. Because if we were like, okay, and now we're starting, everybody would go,
Yeah.
No, but I was sitting here, like,
You didn't read the room.
I heard your voice, and I was like,
no, this is so fair.
What's
This is so
happening?
fair. It happened to me. I was on a podcast, and like 10 minutes into it, in my brain, I went, this is the podcast. We're recording the podcast right now. Like, we're talking.
Yeah.
And I had this like little mini panic attack, and I was like, be
Yeah.
cool, you're on camera. So like, good for you
Yeah.
for like asking.
You have to be careful. During Shelby's episode, I like started going on a rant about the cat that broke into my house, and then
I watched it and heard
and then I said, "All right, it's fine. We can just start now." And Jay was like, "No, we're keeping all of
left
that."
it
We're
in.
starting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God. No, I'm just sitting here
You're
like,
doing great.
like catching flies.
Your mouth
I think I have this on. No, like you're talking. I'm like,
I figured it
Can
out.
we start
Why can't you
now?
figure it out.
He's gonna edit it.
dude,
Don't
I don't. I'm
worry.
special.
God, please edit it.
Oh gosh,
That's
I lost track.
hysterical. Okay, so part-time grandma, part-time floral designer.
Mhm.
Does she have her hands in any of the like operations? That's all
Absolutely
Randee.
not.
That's all Randee.
It's all me.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, I run a tight ship.
Is it weird employing your mom? Because I used to employ my mom. So like, how does that?
Yeah. What would you say to that?
They want to beat the shit out of each other on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And they both love me so much that I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm like the middle child.
Yeah.
They're like scream fighting at each other, and I'm just in the middle, like.
You just like
So I'm
put
like,
your
it's
AirPods
okay.
in. It's like,
It's okay.
Hannah, tell her she needs to do this.
And then, like, if she does, because we've gotten to a point where, like, we show Randee everything that we make. Miss Becky shows me everything that she makes to not go to Randee.
Okay.
So half the time, I'm like, I approve that. That's good. Perfect. Keep going. But then the other half of the time, when I'm like, I wouldn't do that, I'm like, I don't know, ask Randee. And send it to her.
Yeah.
Send the dirty.
I'm the bad guy
right
all the time.
So are you having conversations with her? Like, I mean, like I have conversations with my employees about like things that we need to change and tweak. Are you doing that with your mom?
Miss Becky doesn't have evaluation.
She doesn't.
I was
She
wondering.
plays by her own rules.
Yeah.
It's fair. She started it. She can play by her own rules.
Right.
You know, she doesn't have to be doing this. She's wonderful.
Right.
I still want her to be a part of it and everything. So yeah, we make it work.
Yes.
She's like, oh, that doesn't count. I didn't clock out. Ha ha ha. Like things like that. I didn't clock out for my lunch break.
Sarah's mom, I think maybe 2 Saturdays since I started here.
Yeah.
Sarah's mom has come in to help like run go backs and stuff. And it is really funny because as stylists, like the main part of our job when we're in an appointment is typically balancing like how do I phrase this about my boss's mom? It's balancing.
She won't care.
It's balancing like the young voices with the more mature and.
Oh, this one gets away with saying anything she wants to my mom. My mom is not like, she does not curse. She does curse, but she doesn't say the F word. Hannah says whatever she wants, and my mom laughs.
She's like,
it's more that like,
you're like the granddaughter.
I am.
It's more that like the bride
really
is on
are.
our level as far as like the youthful opinion of style and of like how this should go.
Yeah.
And then we have like mom or grandma who comes in and they are like, oh, well, that's cut too low or that's blah, blah, blah. And Sarah's mom would come in and sit on the couch with them.
Yeah. Like she's part of the appointment.
And like turn to the mom and be like, I get what you're saying. I'm like, you're not helping me.
No.
but she was super helpful.
That is helpful. She would like
helpful.
diffuse it.
Yes, because she makes the mom feel like heard. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
But as long as the mom doesn't know that I'm going in the dressing room with the bride and I'm like, see, I got one too. And the bride's like, you get it. Like, I'm going to get whatever I want. I'm like, yeah, you are. And we're good. But then the mom feels heard. So she doesn't feel like she needs to let it out as much when the bride's there.
Right.
You know, she's like, well, somebody who works here gets it. But it is just really funny because my instincts kick in onto how to like, quote unquote, combat this.
Yeah.
And they're clearly completely different.
From my mom. That's right. So, okay. So we see a lot of that in here. Like we see a lot of like mom and daughter, grandma, you know, disagreeing about what they're going to get. Do you see a lot of that? Are you, okay. So when you're having consultations, you're doing consultations with the bride and her mom, potentially the grandma, like are people coming?
Mother-in-law, potentially a planner. So typically it's like mom, daughter and mom, daughter and planner.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, just the bride.
Right. Oh, always. Yeah.
So yes, it happens all the time. And a lot of people will ask us, well, you deal with bridezillas all the time.
Yeah. No.
No,
that's
that's what I
angels.
say. I say that all
Brides
the
are
time.
angels.
People come in and they say, this must be such a fun job, but I bet you deal with a lot of bridezillas. And I say, I've never met a bridezilla in my life.
Never.
I've met brides that were mean, but they were mean before they got engaged. Being a bad person doesn't just happen when you get a ring on your finger.
Right.
Yeah.
I've met momzillas and sisterzillas and friends from high school zillas.
Or a family member who used to play with flowers that knows everything.
Knows everything. Oh, that's the equivalent of, well, I'm a seamstress. So I know, okay, I cannot even imagine.
The mom who's made one arrangement in a square vase.
Yeah. From that LSU class that she took.
No, literally. And they're like, well, I think the centerpieces should have 3 white roses. I'm like, that's not how this works.
Class. That's literally me. You're like, y'all should have seen how proud I was. Y'all might actually be proud of this too. I got flowers for Mother's Day because the bars on the ground. So I did in fact get flowers for Mother's Day. I got other stuff that was amazing, but I woke up and I had some flowers. I was like, oh, sunflowers, my favorite. And Jack went to put them in a vase for me. And I said, you know, to cut them at an angle, right? And he was like, and put them in hot water. And I was like, okay. It's like, good job. No. He wasn't at the class. He's just heard me talk about it a couple times.
Yeah. So funny. No, my boyfriend thinks he knows everything.
Oh, he
about
worked with
flowers.
us for how long? Less than a year.
I forget that.
Yeah.
In between, like,
Was he like labor, like moving, like
he
doing
processed
deliveries?
flowers. He did deliveries.
he was actually good.
He was very good.
He was very
kept his
good.
mouth shut.
But like
you know?
in
What a
between,
king.
like he
That's exactly
graduated
what we want
college
him
and
to
like
do.
getting his like big boy job, he
Yeah.
worked with us. So
Mhm.
like we will go to a wedding and he's like,
He should. That's what he should have
Amazing.
gained from this.
I'm like,
Yeah.
stop.
Mhm.
And now he thinks he has a say in our wedding flowers. I'm like, you're misconstruing this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, Jack
get
does have a
nothing.
say in my dress. I wish he didn't, and I will never tell a bride to give their fiance a say. He's seen me in 1,000 wedding dresses.
Well,
So
yeah,
I
that's
like
fair.
trust his opinion.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you think? Because remember, I tried that one that looked like, yeah. But he does a similar thing whenever we go to weddings. He turns to me as soon as the bride starts walking down the aisle, and he just goes, "Is it good?"
Yeah,
And I'm like, here's the thing. Do you think while I am at this girl's wedding that there's a chance in hell that I say it's not?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Save that for
I'm like,
home.
I'm like,
That's for
it's
later.
beautiful, it's
Right.
perfect,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I love it.
But what he really wants, what I've learned is what he really wants is for me to like break it down. Like I go, I mean, yeah, it's like a fitted straight neck jacquard with a Mikado overskirt. That's next level. Which, by the way,
It is.
It
is.
is.
That does hit.
It is.
Well, yeah,
does
we
hit.
go to weddings and I'm like, hold on, I gotta see how they engineered this. Wait, I'll be right back, and
Yeah.
I'll go and look at every little thing and
Take
like, got
notes,
that.
look
I got
at
that.
it, like,
Okay,
all right, okay,
got
good.
it.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Yeah.
what I do. I analyze.
I'm usually
everything.
drunk already and don't care.
Yeah, I pre-drink
Shout out.
before I go to a wedding.
Yeah, I'm like,
so,
I don't care. I'm just here.
Yeah.
For funsies.
I'm just checking to make sure that she's not like tugging on the dress like this. And my
Yeah.
husband does know, like if they're tugging on the dress, he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
bad tailoring. Bad
that's
tailoring.
the biggest thing that Jack does is like if I come home and I'm like, I don't want to say complaining about my day because I really do love my job, but I've talked about it before. It's very
to know.
emotionally taxing.
Great.
It's very emotionally taxing, and there will be times where I feel like I need to come home and be like, and then the mom said this, and the aunt said this, and the bride's feeling this way, and I don't even know what, like, I just did this, is that, you know. So he's heard a lot of different situations in bridal, and I'll come home and I'll be like, my bride, like, she was literally like 5'9". She had like these gorgeous, like truly square shoulders. And she was an older bride and she wanted something that was like more quote unquote modest and mature. And you know, her mom was telling her like, don't wear sleeves because they're just going to make your shoulders look bigger. And Jack was like, yeah, but on a tall girl, the sleeves look best. And like, that's like an example of something he would say.
pays
Like he
attention.
knows at this point.
Yeah, my husband will say things all the time, and I'm like, you get it. You're paying attention. Like,
Right.
he won't ever say, I'm proud of you. I'll do that. But like, I hear him talking about it.
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah.
He pays attention.
Yeah. He said he did say something truly dumb the other day. He had like a man moment where he actually acted like how a dude would. And he was saying something about the designers we have in the store. And I said, do you think you could name all of our designers? And he started listing them. And he's like, Justin Alexander and Essence of Australia and Martina Liana. And what's the other one? And I said, it's named after, like, it's not named after, but I'm like, it's like the movie. And he's like, oh, Casablanca. And I'm like, yep. He goes, but there's one more I'm forgetting. And I said, yeah. And it's one of my favorites. And he goes, I don't know. Like, what's it start with? And I said, it starts with an M. And he goes, I don't know. And he's like looking at me and I'm thinking like he's like, what is it? And I'm thinking like I want another hint to give him, but he sees me going, and he goes, you don't even know. And I said, first of all, bitch, I know. I said, it's Maggie Sotero. And I was trying to think like, is there another hint I could give him that would give away like Maggie Sotero? And no,
the audacity to think that you don't know absolutely everything about everything here.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Go sit in the corner. I'm mad. Like, he's too sweet for me to talk about him like that. But yeah, that was a moment. I was like, that was a real man moment, you know?
Would you like me to get that for you, ma'am?
Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable? Okay, great.
Swallow my drink.
So, okay, so, all right, it's you and your mom, and like your daughters come in sometimes. Does your husband ever help out? Deliveries, labor, stuff like that?
Not willingly.
Mm-hmm.
He does it
Yeah.
if he
Not
absolutely
willingly.
have to.
Right.
But yeah, not he doesn't volunteer to help. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm really gonna need you to do this tear down
really
tonight.
need you.
It's at midnight at this. Oh, please don't hate me. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I love you so
Yeah.
much. So it's more like that.
Eric's getting used to some stuff like that. So we do the like bar catering stuff on the side, and I will volunteer him all the time. Like, oh, we're going to work this event. I need you to come help us load up the U-Haul. It ends at midnight. you know, I don't say I'm sorry though. That's nice. That's a nice touch to be like, sorry.
Well, he has a very demanding job. So like, I feel sincerely bad for him. Like, I really know you don't want to do this.
Except Randee has this like fear of ladders.
Okay.
Which she should.
Hard when you're a florist.
Why are you looking at me like that? Why
I don't have a fear. It just has to hit me right here. If it doesn't hit me right here, then
tip.
I can't roll my eyes.
If I can get right here, I'm good. But if I have to go, past that, I have to like hold on to something.
Which like I do a walk through, and I'm like, we'll definitely need the 12-foot ladder.
I say bring the tape measure, and you're like, I can eyeball it. 12. We can use the 12-foot ladder.
You're deflecting. I'm like, we need the 12-foot ladder, and Randee gets there, and she's like 5 steps down on the ladder.
Yeah. Protect your peace, Randee. Like,
I'm on Team Randee here. I'm terrified of ladders.
Same.
The top of the ladder is to here. She's like, I just can't do it. We can't do it.
That sounds like a job for a man.
We can't do it.
Hannah scales it like a monkey. She's like,
you're not scared
on the wall, and
you're not scared of heights. Like heights don't bother you.
I am scared of heights, but I'm also not going to be like, we can't do it. She gets there and she's like, I can't do it.
You're gonna catch me.
I'm like, dude, get off the ladder. I'm like, get off the ladder.
No, I'm really scared of ladders. I tried to get up on a ladder to change the air freshener the other day.
That's funny.
And I tried 3 separate times and I couldn't do it. And then Justine got up there and she did it. I would get like a full 2 feet off the ground and I'm like physically shaking. Like I'm like, I can't do it.
Like I could never.
Yeah. Well, Justine she went up there and she changed it and she said, get back up there. Just touch it. Cause it's like on the ceiling. And she's like, just touch it. And I'm like, I don't think I could do it. And she's like, just try. Like, you got this. She's just pushing me, even though it's already done at this point. But I'm like, no, like, I can do this. Like, yeah. Get up on the ladder. I get close-ish to the top. And she goes, go up one more ring. And I'm like, I don't think I can. And she says, pretend your baby's up there. What if Charlotte was up there just dangling? And I was like, oh, God.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be
not.
honest. It worked.
It
did. In fact,
up higher?
I got up higher. I put one hand on it. And she goes, you need both hands to catch your baby. And I was just like, oh, and I put both hands on it and immediately dropped my hands back down and like ran off the ladder. But I was really proud.
I suck it up and I do it. Okay. I go, all right.
But I have to be there at the bottom of the ladder. Like, dude, get up the ladder. Stop. Get your hips off the ladder. Climb.
I have done it. I do it.
You have done it. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
With me at the bottom of the ladder, like, dude, just get up there. Or get down and let me do it.
Right.
I like when she says that instead of like, okay, cool.
Right.
Yeah, then I do it.
Then she's like, my back is breaking. I can't do this anymore. I'm like, get down. I got it. You know,
We have to take
scoliosis.
turns.
Like, get down.
I start, and then she's like, okay, I won't die.
So what do you think is like the hardest or weirdest or most difficult setup you've ever done?
Ooh. Hannah's got a good one. You can't mention any names.
Do I? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to make up names.
You and
dates
Ronnie
stuff.
did that one that was a Cinderella wedding.
Yeah. At this venue, they're like, I want them to croak. Like, I want them dead. You can cut that.
You sound so defeated.
They called me. They're like, I want them dead. That's what it was like.
I was like, I'm going to leave
laughing.
a bad Google review on all 8 of my Gmail accounts right now. Like, that I hate you guys so
She's
much.
like, I'm going to shit in a bag and leave it on their door.
No, I'm like, I'm going to shit in a bag and fucking mail it to them. Like, I want
With the
them
Floral
dead.
Cottage logo
Yes,
on
Floral
it or
Cottage
no?
sticker on it.
No, that's your personal
I call
shit.
Randee and I'm
Right,
like,
you're like,
I'm
that
going
has
to
nothing to
kill
do
these
with me.
people. I'm going to leave a bad Google review on every single one of my Google accounts. She's like, don't do it on the Floral Cottage.
Just
I'm like,
use yours.
dude. Anyway,
So what happened?
at this venue, we show up and we're supposed to do this like $2,000 floral installation.
Yeah.
Her wedding is like Cinderella themed, and it's
Right.
all like birds and blue and pink and so cute. And I'm like, oh, love this. I fake tanned. I
Yeah.
had a great day.
You right.
You know, I show up and I walk up and we were like, we weren't supposed to get inside until a certain time, but we were setting up outside. But the guy let us in. He's like, oh, you're here for the wedding? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring the flowers inside, put some flowers inside. But like, we were setting up, I put like cake flowers on the ground inside. This other girl shows up, stomach out, in a crop top. I was like, okay. Choices. Walks up and is like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. I'm like,
You're like, I think I am. I'm with the florist for this wedding.
yeah, I'm not wearing a Floral Cottage shirt.
Never. She refuses to ever
Yeah, I'm
follow
like,
the
that
rules.
might have something to do with it. Okay.
But anyway,
Rules don't
I'm
apply
like-
to her.
No.
I'm like trying to start this installation. She's like, you can't put flowers on there. Like, she has an installation on this like porch.
Dilapidated chipped.
been there since Katrina, like warped.
Yeah.
Like chipped. Like anything would help this porch.
Mhm.
Like a can of spray paint would help
Yeah.
the porch.
Yeah.
You can't put anything on the porch, especially zip ties. Like, you can't do it. I'm like, we've used zip ties on half the historical buildings in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, what else would
And
you
we've
use?
never had a problem. This is not a historical building. This
Mhm.
is just old. Like, what is this?
So they call me and tell me this, and I'm like, all right, y'all, we have to do a freestanding structure. Hannah, does this work for you? Another employee goes and delivers these columns to them so they can do a freestanding design now
And not
that's
have to
attached
attach
to
something.
the structure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So we make it work.
Mhm.
And then then they go to put flowers on the mantle, and they're like, excuse me, you can't put flowers there. We have it glued down.
Right.
Lies.
fake-
Glued.
No, they have fake flowers on the
Yeah.
mantle. And I'm like, hey, the bride paid for us to put these on the mantle. They're like, well, those flowers are glued down.
So was this a wedding coordinator that was doing all this?
Or was it like the
Yes,
venue
was it the
person? It's a venue person.
Obviously, the girl
I know
who
this
told
story.
us that the flowers were glued down was like the daughter of like the silk floral designer that works there. So she was.
It was
called-
personal. It
She
was
was mad,
personal.
and the whole thing is, she was mad that they hired an outside florist to do the work, and so she
So
treated
all
us
of
like
the anger
trash.
that you guys had about this was about the venue itself.
Yeah, the
You were
client
not
was
about
wonderful.
the client?
No, they were wonderful.
Again,
Wonderful.
brides are angels through and through.
Yeah.
So this is like, you guys work with venues and coordinators and stuff way more than we do. Like you're coordinating with other vendors and like trying to like manage
Yeah, we
all
make
of
it
that.
happen.
Yeah.
With them.
You
Wow.
have to.
Yeah, alongside them, get to plan all the plan
Speaking of
Bs.
bad
What?
setups, like chandeliers at the Hilton.
Yeah, that's a fun
We
one.
need a 12-foot ladder, and the chandeliers are like the size of like this.
How long does that take?
8 hours.
Because I've seen
For
these
four,
chandeliers.
yeah.
Or it takes like 8 hours.
Like legitimately 8 hours to
Well,
do
by
that?
the time you
Or, like,
unload and
by the time you
everything,
get there,
each one is, you got to take a break, but each one's probably about
Yeah.
2 hours. But you got to like reset up underneath
It's
each
giant.
one.
You have to move the ladder to reach all
It's-
parts of the chandelier.
What a long day.
So the venue that
every day is a long day.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
venue that had the
Warped porch.
yeah, like what was that? Was the flowers glued to the mantle the breaking point, or was there something else?
It was just
Like what made you
Was
drink
it
that
just
day?
like a
It was
lot?
maybe the attitude
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
of like, hey, the bride paid me like $3,000
To do
put
this.
flowers on the porch. They're like, well, you can't do that. Like, we don't allow zip ties on our wrought iron that's chipping. It's gonna chip the wrought iron. I'm like, it's chipped.
I can't imagine.
The only people that with our jobs, the only, I don't even want to say like vendor, but just aspect of it that we also have to communicate back and forth with is alterations.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. If you meet an alteration specialist who doesn't make you feel at least a little bit rushed, they're not good at their job.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's a job that requires an intense amount of time management.
Yeah.
So you should, if you walk away feeling like I got to hang out with them for a good long while,
That wasn't my
Heads up.
experience. My
Great.
experience was like, am I doing something wrong? What's wrong? I
Yeah.
gotta go.
They-
Well, I know
No,
who
and-
you went to. I can
Yeah.
tell.
yeah, and the more like tension they have about all the stuff on their plate, the more they take it out on you. There is to me a line that gets crossed sometimes. Like I've only ever had beef with alterations people. Like in my job, I have no reason to have beef with the venue.
No, we
or
never
with
talked to him.
any other vendor, but the alterations people, the dress you're wearing right now, we were told by someone that we recommend, not that he couldn't do it, not that it didn't look amazing by the time he was done or anything like that. He said, the bride told me this. The bride told me that he said, they need to stop selling that dress because it's too hard to him. He can do it. And he
It's just too much of a
nailed
pain in
it.
the butt.
He
Yeah,
just didn't
right,
feel like it. It took
right.
too much time. And I'm like, this is the dress she's going to wear on her wedding day and look back on 50 years from now.
Yeah.
But
And
every
all
dress-
you have to say about it is, well, they do say they're like, this is a pretty dress. They always do at least one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty dress. Good
But
job.
It's pretty.
and they're like, whatever.
Not every
Pretty
dress is going to be created equal. Same for us. Some clients you're going to work harder for.
Right.
Some are going to be super easy.
Yep.
Some are going to be difficult, and
Yep.
just all balances out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can't always say like, okay, this is going to be easy. Like you have to deal with hard stuff sometimes.
Mhm.
What's difficult? Like, what's a difficult request?
There's multiple
lot.
things. I try to always set expectations from the start.
Yeah.
So they're not
So
disappointed.
smart. Right.
So if they say, Hannah's like, can we get this flower? I'm like, no, we're not saying that. If we luck out, we get that flower, great. They'll be surprised. Do not promise them a single
Under
thing.
promise, over deliver.
No, correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I try to set expectations from the start, and that has really helped out to know, you know, like we have a wedding coming up with Lily of the Valley.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely tiny, delicate, expensive.
Yes, beautiful.
So we try to deter people from it as much as possible because it's expensive. And, you know, there's not really an alternative for it.
Right.
But every time we've gotten it so far, it's worked out.
Wish we fought over that, because that girl came in and had a consultation with me. I was like, yeah, you can get it, whatever. It's just hella expensive. After the consultation, she leaves, and I go to Randee, and I'm like, hey, make sure we can get Lily of the Valley for this date. Or she's like, I can't get it. I'm like, did you email the people?
No, I didn't say that. I said I have to check to see if I can get it.
Don't fight right now. We're not charging people to watch this. So if we charge people, you can fight, but don't fight right now.
Okay, but we might not be able to monetize it unless they fight.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Go for it, ladies. Gloves off.
She's gonna lose. Physically, yeah.
That's why we haven't had Justine on the podcast yet. Justine keeps saying, like, when's the stylist get to be on the podcast? Because we have stuff we want to talk about. And I said, Justine, respectfully, me and you are going to be cussing each other out because and that's honestly, that's how you know you have a good working relationship when you work with all women.
Yeah.
Is when you're able to cuss each other out and feel like, I could actually hit you right now. I could actually slam your head into the wall right now.
Like a sister.
And then
nearly fist fight at least once a week.
Me and Justine have been literally like to the point where we're cussing each other out, and then we call each other on the way home and we're like, crazy day, right? Anyway, what are you getting for dinner? Like,
meanwhile, I'm not privy to these conversations, and so I go home and I'm like, man, they almost like hit each other. Like, I'm like looking at my like workers' comp, and I'm like, does it cover if they hit each other?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except that's me and Hannah all the time. But it's fine. That's just how we are.
Yeah.
Each other too much.
Yeah,
So
we
is she
spend a lot of time with each other.
Is she over-promising? Is she
I
doing this a
think
lot?
No, I think it's just she's got to gain experience with what those expectations are because, you know, I've done this long enough to know, like, what can be done and what can't be done. And I don't want to anger somebody because they were promised something.
Right.
And we can't fulfill that promise. We go in saying, hey, this is not realistic for this time of year.
Right.
Let's see, this is your plan A. What's your plan B? And we come up with that, and we, you know, just communicating to the client more.
I mean,
she does a great job.
I do that with things that, like, I know we can't get all the time, like peonies or whatever, but, like, pink orchid girl. I'm like, hey, she wants pink orchids. Let's see what kind of pink orchids we can get. She's like, it's going to be so expensive. I'm not going to get those pink orchids.
I can get them. I can get them.
We can get them.
Yeah. But that was because I hadn't purchased that particular variety before.
Well, what ends up happening with brides, and like brides, I love you, we love you, brides are wonderful. But sometimes if you say, if we can do it, they just completely do not hear if.
Can do it.
Yeah.
They hear we can do it. And then we don't ever want our brides to be disappointed, like ever. And so I won't even say like, if we can get that dress in time.
Yeah.
Like I never ever say it because they hear we can get it in time.
Yeah,
so I
tell them, I'm like, the likelihood is very low, but if a miracle happens, then maybe we'll check. And then when the miracle happens, that really had 60-40 odds.
Yeah. Everyone's happy.
It's God meant it to happen.
Right.
You know
But we type it all up and I'm like, plan A, this, plan B, written down so they can see it all.
Yeah.
So,
And then you're not surprising her on the day of with no pink orchids or whatever. Like she's prepared for whatever the replacement would be.
Right.
That's good. That just makes everybody happy start to finish. Mm-hmm. And then she's not like, Randee told me we could get pink orchids and they weren't available. That's miserable.
I feel like I really get it. I'm responsible for training the stylists, right? And what I'll do I did it with Justine, I did it with Abby. Did I do it with Abby? I feel like I've done it with every stylist that I've been responsible for training. And it's not nice. I can tell you right now, it's a stressful thing for me to do to them, but it feels very necessary. At some point, every stylist reaches a point after a couple weeks of not being on the sales floor where they go, I'm ready. I can do this. And I'm like, okay, well, let's do it. I'll be the bride. You're the stylist. And I come in and I tell them, I'm like, I've tried on once before. I tried on this style and this is how I felt about it. This is my budget. This is my event date. and like, this is my size, right? And then they go through the whole appointment. Or better yet, I won't tell them budget, or I won't tell them event date, because that happens. Brides don't always tell us budget and event date. You have to remember to ask.
Right.
And they'll get to the point where they're like, is it, well, you like the straight neck, but you prefer it fitted, and this is the style. So this is the dress I would pull for her. And I'm like, awesome. She put it on. She fell in love with it. And they're like, great, wonderful. So like, I did it. Like, I'm good. And I'm like, yeah. How much does it cost, by the way? My budget's $1,500.
Right.
And they go, well, but you didn't say that in the beginning. And I'm like, so?
You didn't know.
And I get it. Like, Justine got mad. Justine was like, but you tricked me.
That's
and
the
I
point.
said,
You have to be prepared.
I said,
for all the
it's not, your
scenarios.
bride's not tricking you. Your bride is not as informed as you about
she doesn't
your
know
expertise.
what you need to know. Right.
Exactly. Like, event date. I'll be like, yeah, well, okay, well, great. I'm getting married in a month. This works, right? It's not available off the rack.
Right.
It's gonna take 6 months to come in. What do you tell your bride? It's not in stock with the designer.
So what do you
plan?
do if a bride comes in and she's like, it has to be peonies, it has to, or I'm just going to be absolutely miserable, and they're not necessarily in season? Like, what do you do?
So there's multiple things you can do. Most brides are not super dead set because they're not the experts.
Okay, yeah.
So they're going to be like, okay, what's an alternative? And I'll give them a few options for it. And that'll usually be enough. I have had to go get some artificial peonies. It was a mixed bloom bouquet. So I got really high quality artificial peonies, and I've mixed it before, and you can't tell the difference. So there are workarounds to it, but
and she's happy because it looks good in pictures.
Correct. So it's fine. I mean, there's things you can do. So that it usually always works out.
Yeah, just like move your wedding.
Yeah, she's gonna book her wedding around when she can get peonies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had the opposite of that happen recently. I had a bride have her appointment with me, and she found her dress and all of her accessories and everything. And then she called me the next week, and she said, I know I told you my wedding was going to be in December, and I know I already like paid for everything and it's coming in. We decided to move it up to June of this year.
That was fun.
And I'll tell you what.
That was fun.
Today, she walked out the doors. She has her dress ready to pick up from alterations. She has her veil, and she has her neck scarf.
I'll tell you something.
And when I tell you, I cried to the designer.
Like,
I said, we need it. With the day that it registered with me that we're their customer. That's the worst thing Sarah could have taught me, because like we had a bride who asked, she was like, I want to make sure you guys have this dress. She called in February. She booked her appointment for this past Saturday. And then I called her for her pre-call because we talked to our brides before their appointment. And she said, I just want to double check that you have this dress. I spoke to a girl in February. She said it's not going anywhere. Well, the T word happened, tariffs. And our dresses got marked up crazy just because we like have to be a sustainable small business. And to cope with that, because Sarah's amazing and a genius, a ton of dresses are available off the rack. A ton of them, because they're available off the rack at that pre-tariff price.
Yeah.
And it's genius and it's perfect and it works out great for our brides. But when she was told that in February,
we didn't
that
know.
dress wasn't available off the rack. So she was told it's not going anywhere.
Right, because it wasn't.
It changed 3 weeks later because global
Everything
politics
changed.
happen, like things completely out of our control. And the dress was marked available off the rack. And within 2 weeks, it was sold off the rack. And so I talked to her for her pre-call, and she was like, but I was told it wasn't going anywhere. And I said, let me call you back. And I called the designer and I was like, can we get this in as a loaner for this weekend? And they said, well, they ship out on Friday, so it's a little late for this weekend. And I just
Can someone do something?
I cracked, and I was just like, listen. I was like, she loves it. It's her dream dress. This is the whole point of what we do.
Literally.
And she was like, okay, I will make an exception. Like, let's go, queen. And I got it in, and the bride said yes to it, and she got her dress last Saturday, and I'm so happy
What
for
if
her.
she said no to it? Would you have been like...
No, I would have been fine with it.
No is not an option sometimes.
No.
Sometimes it's not an option.
I would have been fine with her saying, oh, are you talking about, I
If
thought
she
you-
didn't want it.
Oh, the bride.
Oh, the bride?
That's fine.
Oh, we're just doing everything we can in case she wants
She
it.
can't say yes to a dress until she has the chance to try her dream dress on. Until she feels like she can put that dress in a box far away and know that it's not the one. She's not going to get a dress anyway. So yeah, get that loaner in if it's your dream dress.
For sure.
Do it. But yeah, that was a whole thing. And
we will cry for our brides. We will call someone and cry. But we have that opportunity. We can be like, no, you have to get us this dress. If peonies don't exist and whenever they're not in season, I don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't exist.
They don't exist.
you have anyone
really
you
creative.
can cry to make stuff happen?
I don't ever really do that because
We cried.
I don't need to.
It's a valuable tool, just so you know. If you need to like cry, like it does
people
work.
That we get our stuff from like love us
because I'm nice.
So much.
Yes,
because I spend a lot of money and I'm nice.
Yes, I tell them that all the time. I have very good relationships with our designers.
So they know if I
for
reach
this
out
reason,
to them,
it's serious.
So yes, they do a really good job of getting me what I need, and they will like overnight it if it's bad and I need a replacement. So because it's a fresh product, sometimes things come in bad. Like that's just the nature of it. It's going to happen. So like if my lily of the valley comes in bad, then I know she'll do her best to get me a new shipment.
Because you've been a good customer because you pay your bills and you order a lot and you have
and
this
I say please and thank you.
Please and thank you, and you're really nice. And we have to remember that they're dealing with people from all over the country and all over the world that are not kind. That are not kind.
Market, I tell Sarah because like I heard someone talking at market about like they were talking to their rep and getting ready to place an order after they had seen the show, like the fashion show and everything. And me and Sarah, like, we stroll in and I have my opinions and I have to figure out how to mold my opinions in with the Excel spreadsheet that Sarah's had in her back pocket.
Right.
First of all, for the last 24 hours, further than that. Like Sarah's prepped and ready. She's like, well, these are the styles we already have in this designer. This is what sold last year. This is what she's got her stats. She's got her lineup and she's like, this is it. And then I come in and I go, that one instead. And Sarah goes, okay, sell it to me. Like, why should we?
Exactly. I tell her the same thing. I'm like, I'm listening. Convince me.
Yeah.
I'm able to, I love a spreadsheet. I love data. That's why I'm good at running a business. But like, we also want to listen to you guys because it's your opinion matters.
Because a lot of what we do is, I mean, we can look at all the data of what was popular last year, but you've got a stylist that's been taking brides for the last 3 months and knows they're all asking for high necks.
Right.
You need to know that more than you need to know how many high necks sold last year. You know, so, and Sarah knows that. Sarah's a very smart person and very good at her job. And
this is all being recorded.
First of all,
keep that in.
Can we get a clip of that?
This
that I can
is
just
the
keep on my
only
phone?
way I ever talk about Sarah. Like, let's be very clear. It's a problem. I say Jack has mommy issues. I got mommy issues. I'm like, she's a female authority figure. Good. As long as she's like, you did a good job. I'm like, okay, need. I can sleep tonight, you know?
Hannah, you feel the same way, right?
No.
It's very different. But we go into market and like I heard like a store owner talking to their rep about, well, and then what was the other one that it looked like this? Was that, or do you think people will like that? Like she's asking the rep. And I'm like, first of all, her job's to sell to you, queen.
Right.
Yeah.
She's
like, you should get both.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, I recognize that Hannah is the age of a lot of brides.
Yes,
what do they
exactly.
like, Hannah?
What do they like? What are they asking
My
for?
experience is not necessarily to say what the trends are, what people like. It's like,
it's
how
just
am I going to make
it.
that happen with my expertise?
Exactly.
Like, is that realistic or not? Can I be within budget? No, you didn't charge the right amount. We got to adjust that, or whatever it is.
You're not charging the right amount.
You know what? You just make those brides happy, Hannah.
It's either way too much or way, I don't know.
Oh my God.
But it's because so much of it, like we do so much random shit. That I'm like,
yeah.
What the fuck do I charge?
Yeah, you don't really have like a standard. Like I would imagine that you have a lot of brides coming in asking for wildly different things from each other. Wildly different.
It's mostly the same old crap.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I have a story to tell.
Okay, all right. You can
I'm gonna
tell
my
the story.
Yeah,
you can tell
okay,
it.
so Gab told me about it, and I piss myself laughing every time I think about it.
Because I'm met.
It's about Randee.
Okay.
Okay. Gab said that she sat down with you to have like her meeting before her, because Gab got her florals from you guys because she has a brain in her head, right? And so she came to work after her meeting with you, like her initial consultation about what she was going to do for her wedding day. And she goes, guys, you're not going to believe what happened yesterday. And we were like, what happened? And she said that she was talking to you and Gab was like, yeah, or maybe, I don't know exactly how the conversation went. I wasn't there, but basically the conversation came up as to like, do you ever get tired of seeing the same thing every day? Like everyone must be getting the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And Gab said, I mean, yeah, I feel like it's more often than not that a bride comes in and I'm like, oh, I bet you want another clean classic dress, you know? let's keep in mind, folks, Gab got married in a clean and classic dress.
Sure did.
It's classic for a reason.
Right.
It's gorgeous.
It's
no one's shitting on that, right? But Gab was like, yeah, another clean and classic dress. And she was like, what about you? Do you see a lot of the same? And that you said, oh yeah, if I gotta do another batch of ivory florals. And then you went, anyway, what do you want? And Gab was like,
that was me.
That was you. I don't think
Ivory
it was I met with her.
that was you?
I met with her casually, but I don't think I had her consultation.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now listen, you said that to the right person because Gab thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious.
It made her want to work with you even
Well, the
more.
whole time you're telling this, I'm going, did I meet with her?
No,
I
to
chatted
be
with her,
fair,
but I don't know if I met her.
This happened when Gab was fairly new at the store, and there's a good chance that I was like, oh, was it Randee? And she was like, I guess so. And I just thought it was you. But that's really funny that
I try to choose my words well, but if people ask us, what are you bored of? It's the classic white and ivory, just because, not because it's not beautiful. It's beautiful. It's timeless. You're never going to regret it.
Exactly.
And that's why a lot of people want it. And that's why a lot of people want it.
If it's something that we look forward to doing, that it excites us, no, it doesn't excite us like colorful, exotic blooms.
I remember for the rest of the consultation, because she wanted all white, but she still wanted it was a winter wedding, so she wanted winter greens, and I was like, oh, this is so fun.
You played it.
This is not boring at all.
Keep going.
That's
More
hilarious.
Christmas greens. I was trying to make her not feel bad for wanting all white.
Oh, that's so
So did you
funny.
learn a lesson after that, not to say a word?
She was not insulted.
No,
she really wasn't.
To be clear, it made her want to work with you even more. She thought it was hysterical and okay. But I kind of think it's like hairstylists, right? Hairstylists, a lot of them will end up with some purple in their hair or some pink in their hair because they're just kind of tired of seeing the same stuff over and over on the clients that they do, but not because it's ugly or not trendy, but it's beautiful, it's classic, but you just want a little pop of something different.
Yeah, if we can ever convince our brides, their biggest concern is if it's too much color on them. So they don't necessarily want to hold a colorful bouquet, but they do want color incorporated.
Okay.
So in those situations, we'll come up with a compromise. Okay, so you want a neutral bouquet for yourself? Wonderful. You can have that classic calla lily bouquet you want, whatever it might be. But for your wedding, let's add a little pop of color.
Right.
So then they'll start moving on to some soft pastels.
Yeah.
And they never regret color.
No,
They never regret it.
Because when you're looking at the pictures, when we're looking at pictures, it's so beautiful, especially on their dress.
Yeah.
So a lot of brides are wanting those neutrals on their gown. I'm surprised to hear that because the gown is so neutral.
Well, no, I always tell people. So
what a canvas.
Gab stuff I loved.
Yeah.
She had such a beautiful wedding.
And
Yeah.
greenery, and it was fun.
You can still have a neutral wedding that's fun too.
Yes. Yeah.
Whenever people, because we asked the dress color, we do their consultation just to know.
Yeah.
But so many people that have true white dresses get all white rose bouquets, but roses are not true white.
No,
They're never
not.
true
It's
white.
never
So we
going to be
always
the
look
same.
yellow.
So we set expectations from the start and say this is gonna clash.
Yes.
I recommend let's mix some different shades of whites.
Right.
'Cause,
Let's bring it all
an
together.
all white rose bouquet looks
Yellow.
It's like this.
Right.
This is the whitest we're gonna get
And people
for
Right.
an all white rose bouquet.
That's actually what I was about to ask you guys because I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to say anything. We had a bride who a while back, she got her dress from us. Her dress was ivory and she found a veil that she really loved during her appointment. And then she said, oh, it costs $200. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it real with y'all, real with the cameras. I've worked at a few bridal stores. A $200 veil is the cheap end of a veil.
Yeah, I was about to say that
It
seems
is
like a realistic
When
price.
I saw the price of these veils working here, I was like, oh my gosh.
Reasonable.
It was so reasonable, so affordable, so amazing. And the material is there. It's not I've sold $200 veils before, and I'm just going to say, you could tell they were $200.
Right.
These are veils that feel like they should be $500 and they're $200. And I try to explain that to brides. I'm like, look, you can spend less money on the veil. It's going to feel like sandpaper.
It's going to look like
It's going to
less
look like
expensive.
sandpaper. It's not going to flow on the wedding day. And ultimately, if that's not something you care about, then sure, do what you want. But I also guarantee that on the wedding day, when you have your hair done, your makeup done, everything is so perfect, and then you put on your sandpaper veil, it's not going to feel good. You're going to regret it. And I don't want a bride to have any regrets on their wedding day. So the bride, I was not her stylist.
Veil back on.
I think Gab was her stylist.
The continuity is not
No, it's not. There was a Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones. But I was not that stylist bride. I was not that bride stylist. I think, look, this is my fourth take saying this, guys. Cut me some fucking slack. Okay, so I wasn't her stylist. I think Gab was her stylist. I'm not 100% sure. So I didn't give that whole spiel about, I don't want you to have any regrets on your wedding day. You're going to order this online. You're going to be able to tell that you ordered this from Amazon or whatever. And we just saw the wedding pictures recently. The veil is white, stark white. The dress is ivory. It gets worse. The groom's tux is white.
No.
And the florals are ivory because of course they are.
Right.
But I'm not going to get more detailed than that because we will probably post her bridals and I don't want to.
In those situations, we just don't post it.
Yeah.
If we're like,
But it's
like, you should have listened.
It's hard. It's like, how do you manage their expectations and their budget and what they can do with what we know is going to look good, be cohesive? What do we do?
You're confident.
Yeah.
People listen to us.
Like, I'm so good at like convincing people. I'm like, no, you'll love this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, most of the time.
Yeah. That's fair.
A lot of the times they listen.
Yeah.
If they have a different vision, then maybe we're not the right fit for each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
But usually we can please most people. I mean, it happens. They come to us. It's shifted. At first, like years ago, they maybe came to us for budget-friendly options. Then we started doing more social media.
Yes.
Expectations of weddings in general changed.
Right.
People like wanted bigger weddings, and
It's
it wasn't. They just wanted all of they wanted the whole big party and all the photos, and so with that, you have higher expectations for decor and flowers and all of that. So it shifted over time, and now people know our work, and so like.
That's what I was about to say.
It's set.
People come to us now because they're like, we love what you do.
They've seen what you do.
So we don't have to prove the price anymore. And for those budget-friendly people, which I totally get, we are pretty transparent in the pricing. So we have preset collections, so we're not doing all that extra work trying to find the seasonal flowers or anything like that. It's already set.
Yeah.
So many people come to us and they're like, we just love what you do. These are my colors. Like,
We're trying to get more into that.
Yeah, which there has been a lot. Like, what's her name? My girl. What was her name?
Which one?
Her name.
I don't know.
Pink and Reds.
Ooh, I love that. I always have.
Yeah.
What's her name?
It's giving Valentine's Day.
But in like a pretty, girly,
like
modern
a classy way.
Love that.
With this bride, Macy Laris, who like inquired, and I talked to her throughout the whole process. She literally was like, I have no budget. This is what I like. And it was like because of what we did.
Talk to me.
It was a dream.
She was
What
like,
a dream.
Do whatever you want. And it was
As a creative.
That's so, we love that. Let us just give us a color scheme and a style and the venue. We'll make it happen for you.
Make it happen.
It was so gorgeous.
That was one of my
I saw these pictures. I think I saw these pictures because I think you said something about that in the post, right?
Yes,
Where you were like, when she said, do what you want to do. I think I watched it 4 times. Like, it was beautiful.
When people do that, we're like not as strict on the budget. We're
Right.
Like, we're going to make this fun.
Well, because it's
because
an
that's what they
opportunity
want.
for us to invest in a new technique.
Right.
Something we haven't done before. And,
Yeah.
then we can use it for advertisement.
One of my, Sarah's like, it was only a matter of time before she brings this girl up because it's literally one of my favorite brides of all time. I adore her. Her name is Caitlin Terrio. And
Shout out. We love you.
Shout out, Caitlin Terrio. You are a real one. Look, I really try not to play favorites with my brides.
I know it's hard.
And
It's
I can think of about 100 brides who could walk in the door right now and I'd be like, she's my favorite. What are you talking about?
Right.
Caitlin Terrio is one where like, if someone were to ask me who's your favorite, I'm like, that's the only one I can think of. I'm sorry. And I really do like, oh my God, I love my bride so much. It's a problem. I'm like, I want to be your best friend, please. But Caitlin came in and first of all, so fun. Just like a genuinely fun and enjoyable person to be around. She brought in a group of people with her that truly just reminded me of my own family because it's just like,
I love when that happens.
it's just like Cajun with like that twist of like we might be in a bridal store, but we're not about to, we're in your bridal.
Like, they're real.
Literally, her grandma was like, can you throw it back in that thing? Like, and I'm like, this grandma gets me. Like,
it's valid.
She was just, they're so much fun. They were such a fun group, but she did that. Like, there was a dress, and I was like, I feel like if I'm just playing dress up and doing what I want, I put you in this dress, it's $5,000 out of budget. So I'm not going to put you in it. And I told her that because her thing was her and her fiance, if I'm not wrong, I think they were high school sweethearts. But the thing was that he said the only thing he expected of the dress was, he said, I don't want to see you in just another white dress. And we had, at the time, we were sampling a designer that we don't carry, but we'll do that sometimes where it's like, okay, let's see if the dresses do good in the store. And if they do, maybe we'll like buy them for the collection. And, that's what the case was for this designer. And, when the dresses came in, it was like, oh, these are really expensive. They're way above the price point of like Bustle and kind of what we try to stay in for our bride's sake. Right. And so no one was getting in those dresses. We weren't pulling them because our brides are not coming in with a $10,000 budget.
Right.
She came in with like a $5,000 budget, and the dress was $5,000, but it came with an overskirt that was also $5,000.
Oh, wow.
And the dress and the overskirt together was the most beautiful thing.
Stunning.
Because I don't work with stuff that's that nice typically. Like, I work with really, really nice dresses that are really worth what they cost. But this was like another level because it was like you could
this was
tell. And for someone who like does what I do, it was just kind of like, I don't even know what I could compare this to in terms of florals, but I'm sure you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
And so
my Pinterest board is full of like Canadian Westwood. So
yeah. And so we tried her.
Yeah, it really was.
And we tried her in the dress, and we all had a moment of like, so your wedding dress cost $10,000.
Yeah, right. Like this is just what it is now.
And where do we go from here? Do you get it? Do you push it away and wish for it on your wedding day? Right. And we had to have her like put her clothes back on and like think about it. And we were just like hanging out and having a mimosa. And I'm like, girl, I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Like, I fucked up.
I was like, you shouldn't have. And the problem is her mom and like her mother-in-law, or maybe it was her stepmom, and they were just like, oh, just try her in it. And I was like, okay, we'll try her in it.
And this is what happened.
Yeah. Also, this is the way I remember it. This was, and this is how you know it meant a lot to me. This was well over a year ago that this appointment happened. So I could be misremembering. But we just had to like sit for a minute and think on it. And then when she finally she was like, who am I kidding? This is the dress. When I tell you, every day that I waited for those bridals, it was all anyone heard me talk about.
Well, yeah, because you want to be excited about something.
Yeah.
I mean, it just brings you joy.
Yeah.
Like, we feel the same way.
Because what we do is art. Like this, it's art, right? Like we're creatives, we're artistic. So like when you're given this opportunity to do your craft and create this art, it's gotta stick with you.
Yeah, and the freedom that some people give us is great.
We have favorites, even though we shouldn't have. We have a lot of favorites.
We love them all, but we do have special, dear.
Yeah.
And it's not even always about like who has the biggest budget. It's like, what is the coolest concept that you want to do? And did you you don't need to necessarily have a gigantic arrangement on every table. Maybe you have one really cool installation.
Yeah.
Like put your budget towards something really unique, and that's what people are going to remember.
There are just some moments that really stick with you, you know? I think one of my quote unquote favorite brides of all time, I don't remember her name. I don't remember what dress she said yes to. I mean, I kind of do, but I remember like the moment that I had with her that stuck with me.
Yeah.
It's 7 years past now.
Right.
I don't even know if she's still married. I don't care.
Y'all see so many more people than we do, but like I have so many people. I get invited to nearly every wedding that I do the consultation.
Well, because you're so personable and like you're making friends.
Like, you're gonna stay, right? Like, you're gonna be there at the sushi bar.
Here's the problem.
She's so full of crap. She never wants to stay. She's so tired.
So tired, right?
It's like you're gonna stay, right?
But that just shows how much they trust you and they like you, and like that really matters.
If I had $1 for every time a bride said like, "Oh, you're getting an invite, just wait," and I'm like,
and you're like, I'm checking the mail.
I'm like, look, the dress is the first thing you do.
Yeah,
you haven't even seen how much this wedding's going to cost yet, if we're being really honest.
Like, we had this girl, Blake, who was marrying another Blake. It was Blake and Blake.
I remember this, yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
no, but I remember, like, yeah.
I did her consultation and everything, and I loved her, and it was just so funny. And, like, I literally was setting up there that day, and she was like, so I'm going to see you later, right? And I was like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you what, Hannah's a big talker. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna party with you.
I'm like, I'll be there.
And she is the first one. If we had a really rough day on the ride home, we don't say a word to each other.
Yeah,
we can just sit in silence because we are done, and then we don't talk to each other like for days.
We're like side-eyeing each other.
It's just we're burnt out. It's a very physically demanding day for us.
So if a wedding starts at 6, when are you done?
When are we done?
Yeah.
5:30, depending on.
Yeah.
It just depends.
It just depends. Pack at like 9.
Yeah. It's like a whole day.
Oh, it's a whole day.
Yeah.
It really just depends on, are we doing a flip? Mm-hmm. If we're doing a flip, that means we have to wait till the ceremony to be done to move the items. Or we're doing a transfer. We have to move from a church to a reception place. So it's a long day. Then we have to send a separate team at the end of the night to tear everything down. So it's a very long day.
So how many...
One day where I set up and tore down, and I never did it ever again. And I was like, I'll quit.
How many weddings can you do in a day? Can you do more than one? Hannah's like, nope. Nope.
Yeah, we can take a lot.
Yeah.
It really just depends on the size.
Yeah.
That's so relatable, because if I had $1 for every time we had like a walk-in or something on a busy Saturday, and I mean, like a couple Saturdays ago, I was like, well, if we took this girl, we could only work with her for an hour, and it would have to be in the VIP suite because every other appointment slot at every other fitting room for the entire rest of the day is booked. And I'm like, I don't know. And I call Sarah and I'm like, are you okay with her using the fitting room for an hour? I mean, she didn't pay for it. And Sarah's like, does she want to buy a dress? And I'm like,
make the sale.
I think so. Here. And Sarah's like, then you can do it. And
Does
I'm
she
like,
want our service? We're providing
yeah, and we're like the one stylist who was going to be able to take a lunch break today. No, bitch, go get her
never
a
guaranteed.
it isn't.
We say that very clearly.
We know that.
Oh yeah,
when
for
you
us
interview
too, like,
here,
pack a lunch. You can eat it in between.
Now listen, do I keep that break room stocked with things for them?
Yes, she does.
Absolutely. And on a busy Saturday, I'm door dashing Chick-fil-A or sushi or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like you run back there.
She called me last Saturday because she was out of town, and she called me last Saturday and she said, what do you guys want for lunch? Because she was just going to like order it for us or send us her card info to order it. And she goes, what do you guys want for lunch? And I said, we actually just ate lunch. I had like ordered it for the girls. And she goes, oh, I wish you would have told me. I wouldn't. And I said, it's okay. You can Venmo me.
I'm not going to go that far.
No,
that's not what's happening here.
You're feeding me on Saturdays.
Yeah. I'm like her mother and big sister and boss combined. Yeah. She does not take care of herself. So I'm like,
what is with these girls?
Did you pack a jacket?
Yeah. Are you hydrated? Do
you have water? She won't drink water.
No.
Do you have
never.
Do you have something to snack on?
Right.
Are you prepared for all these scenarios?
Most
so
of
like
I'm eating Randee's sandwich.
I'm like, eat this sandwich. Eat the half of this sandwich. I will split it with you so you don't pass out.
Because you need me.
I do need you.
And we need y'all, and we need you not cranky. Like, it is well worth, and I'm sure you agree with me, it is well worth the money that we spend to feed and hydrate these girls, because in the wedding industry, it's tough. Saturdays are tough, whether you're like here working, selling wedding gowns, or you're like setting up an event. Like, it's tough. What we do is really hard.
It's really weird what a Chick-fil-A sandwich does for morale.
It does. Like, I'm ordering lunch for y'all, like Mother's Day week. Okay, guys, what do y'all want? I'm going to order it. What would you like? So we do that.
The morale is through the roof.
It needs to be studied for real. I don't really understand how we could be having a Saturday where like, this appointment's running long. This appointment has a really, really mean sister. This appointment, and like everyone will be in like their own kind of moods for different reasons. And then the Chick-fil-A shows up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we're going to be fine, ladies.
And I can always like sense when I need to place the order too. Yeah. I'm like, what's the vibe? It's getting down. We need some nuggets.
It's funny too. She's really right, because Reese will come around with Sarah's phone and go, what do you want from Chick-fil-A? And I go, you know what, bitch? I do need some fucking Chick-fil-A right now. Yeah, give me that phone.
Like, give me the steak. It's a $2 upcharge.
And then you waste it. And then you waste it.
Yeah, I thought when I first started working here, it was like, I was like, let me get like the kids' meal and I'll get like a water.
I'm like, no, that's not what I want.
And then I like I figured out how to like look at like how much money you brought into the store on Bridal Live, and I said, Give me a wrap. I'm gonna take that with a large fruit cup.
Perhaps a salad.
Perhaps not.
Perhaps not.
They're
filmed
getting
that
the
as
like
a TikTok.
milkshakes.
At our Bustle Christmas dinner, we filmed that as a TikTok where it was like Sarah being like, and for the lady, perhaps a salad, and was all of us at the table going, perhaps not.
Perhaps not.
Do you guys do that? Do you guys do like Christmas dinner and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yep.
How is it? Is it like, what is it usually? Does it look like a dinner on a table, or does it look
we went
like...
to Juman's for Christmas this year.
Love that.
We did that 2 years ago.
Have too many people.
We're getting to have a lot of people. It was
That's
a lot of people.
What a great problem.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Sarah just recently let us she was like, spouses can come.
Oh.
Bring your spouse.
Yeah, we're gonna do like a pool day at my sister's
pool
house,
party
and
next
spouses.
week.
We're
are
so
allowed to do
excited.
We need to do it together.
We're doing
Who's
that.
cool?
My sister.
Amazing.
We're having
Yeah.
crawfish, right?
It depends. It's kinda
Apparently.
late in the season.
Apparently. Oh, yeah, it
I
is.
have to
kinda-
check.
Yeah.
I said something to Gab about like, oh, well, my mom's going to be out of town that day, so I need to find a sitter for Charlotte. I hope I don't end up having to bring her to the pool. And Gab, I forget exactly what she said, but she basically was like, don't bring the kids.
Yeah.
And
We
she's
had dinner the other night for Evie, one of our girls' graduations.
Uh-huh.
And a few people like called out. So Randee brought her kids, and I was like, oh my god, buzzkill.
Of course. Y'all, I had confirmed 15 people, and
It was
multiple
fine.
people bailed. I'm like, okay, Lauren, take the
Kids
kids,
come.
bring
Yeah.
them. They're joining us because
Yeah, why not?
We need to fill a table.
Buzzkills, my god.
I will
you
be
act
honest,
like you
though.
change in front of my kids.
Yeah, like, do you just like
Yeah.
not drink in front of them? Or
No,
like,
my mom's like, Hannah, there are kids around.
I'm like screaming.
My
They've heard
kid,
it.
my kids heard it. I feel like I'm very lucky. The girls I work with are all like obsessed with her, like
Right.
just like how we're all obsessed with Sarah's kids.
Yeah.
Like it's
well,
just
like contractually, they have to be obsessed with my kids. So like,
My kids.
oh wait, those are some precious, precious girls. Those are
Danielle
some
brings
cutie
Eliza, the
patooties.
little one to the shop, and like that is my baby.
It was the first baby she held.
The first
They're
baby-
adorable.
The first baby I ever held was Danielle's baby.
really
Yeah.
that
They're
is
really
crazy.
cute.
How old were you?
She's an only
This was
child.
Last year, I'm an only child. And there was no
I
children
can't
in my
imagine.
family.
Look, you know what? That makes sense because I was gonna say I can't imagine someone getting this old without holding a baby. And I remember I said this in the last episode that we talked about. I was like, I did the mother baby classes at Women's Hospital, and they were like, me and Jack were there, and like all these other couples are there with their very pregnant spouses,
Right.
and she was like, raise your hand if you've never changed a diaper, and Jack raised his hand, and I said, no, baby. She said, raise if you've never changed a diaper, and he was like, I've never changed a diaper. First of all, I'm already 7 months pregnant. What the fuck do you mean you've never changed a diaper? And I looked at him and I was like, oh, I fucked up. I was like, oh, I fucked up.
Hey, it's on the job training. They
Yeah.
figure it out.
Look, he worked on it, and that's why we took the class. He learned how to change a diaper. He changed plenty of diapers. He was not one of those dads that like wouldn't change a diaper. I will
Oh,
say,
thank God. Jesus.
he has a super sensitive gag reflex. I have videos of him going to change a diaper and just going, ugh, and like gagging the whole time. Hilarious.
She gives
to
the
me.
baby back at that point. She doesn't.
That's fair. That's fair.
Cat mom.
Yeah.
Eliza's my baby. Like,
Yeah.
Danielle brings her to work, and like she'll like at that point, I'm on the clock to babysit and let Danielle work.
My kids are her rivals, and
I
Danielle's.
fight Danielle's kids. Danielle's kids. Randy's
Right,
kids.
yeah.
Randy's
Yeah.
kids are my ops.
Yeah. They're like the other grandkids.
No, literally.
Oh my God.
Screw y'all.
My niece gets so mad that Hannah calls me. Yeah.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
She's
so
like,
funny.
Don't call her grandma.
Does she like legitimately get upset about it? That's
Yes.
hysterical.
That's really
She's a
funny.
teenager, so yeah. My
Sarah's
kids are like,
youngest
whatever.
was in here recently, and I put her in a wedding dress. And first of all, I'm really fucking good at clipping.
Because she's 5 years old.
She's 5 years old, and I put her in a wedding dress, and I had her clipped up. That thing looked.
She did kind of eat though.
She
like,
ate.
She really did.
She could walk around in that, and she was fine.
Literally,
She was like,
don't you like it? Don't you
Mhm.
work here?
Mm-hmm. She said like. She was like, Miss Katie, does Charlotte ever get jealous? Charlotte's my daughter's name. She was like, does Charlotte ever get jealous? And I said, actually, I think so. The other day she told me that she wished she had an older sister, and you have an older sister, so she's probably a little jealous of you. And when I tell you this girl went, she looked at her older sister, she goes, like, what do you, that?
like, you're jealous of that?
That's what she's jealous. Okay. And she's so funny. She went to Charlotte's first birthday party, and not her first birthday party, but when she went to the first birthday party of Charlotte
that she went to, attended,
she was driving around on one of her little like toy cars, and she picked up a fake cell phone and said, "I'm gonna be late. There's a wreck on Highland."
They do listen a little too
funny.
closely, actually.
There's a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So, what we talked about how you handle it when something is like out of season, you just like kind of like make it work for them. What do you do if someone comes in and they just have no clue what they want?
Well, that's why we have a very, very well curated website, Instagram.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's figure out what styles you don't like.
Yeah.
So I'll show them all the different styles, and then we narrow it down from there. And we figure out like this. I always set them up with, we need to figure out your style, your shape, your colors, and your textures. And we'll go through all of those things, and I'll narrow it down like that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's what I tell brides when I tell them, I'm like, if you want to like, you know, make something uniquely you do it with style, shape, color, or texture.
Yeah,
like it's the same
It's
four
the principles
things.
of any design.
Of any
So
design.
funny.
I never even thought about it.
I just learned that through bridal training. I didn't realize that was like a universal style.
I don't know. That's just what I
obviously.
came up with when I'm picking the textures and everything about a bouquet.
That's so
So I guess it's
funny.
just a universal
Like, how much do you like me?
How much do you trust me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, just make it work. Like, Hannah. So, like, I'm trying to order for this bride. What do you want? What are you trying to convey here?
Make shit up.
Yeah. You're like, we can do it.
Because I tell Randee this all the time. This is a fake job and everything is made up.
Okay. Do you love to hear that?
It's made up.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it.
Like, this is made up. It's fake. It's not real.
This is not real. I'm sitting here debating over which type of tool to buy. That's what she said.
You better be really grateful for me.
I'm like, so it's very real.
I'm like, I
All
would
of these
never
rules
say
are
that. It is
real.
all very real to me. The girls will be like, Katie, we got a new stock piece. What's the price on it? And I'm like, well, let me do some like quick maths and I'll get back to you. And I'm like, can you imagine if as your sales manager, I went, it's made up.
It's
Pick
made
a
up,
number.
just, like, make it up.
Pick a
When
number.
we first start talking to these people, if it's something we've never done before, I am making it up.
Well, we
It's
do.
fake
We
it
don't-
till you make it kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like, we can absolutely do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
$100 a foot.
No, we do talk it out. When we don't know, we say, we'll have to get back to you. When we do price it out, figure
Yeah.
all that out. But
Randy's like, guys, like, it's real. Like,
Yeah.
I promise.
yeah, why don't you charge enough?
To make it work.
I think a bride can tell. The only way in which we quote unquote make stuff up, and a bride can tell because it's not, we give it a range, as if they're like, well, how much do you think it'll cost in alterations for me to repair this thing on this off the rack
We're
dress?
like,
And we go anywhere from like 300
to like $4,000.
$4,000.
Somewhere in there.
And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about, huh? And I'm like, no, but I didn't say I did. I didn't give you a number that was wrong, did I? I don't know. And I'll just text alterations and be like, how much would you charge for this? So we're lucky we have them on speed dial, thank God. But
So you probably don't get a ton of brides that are coming that have no idea what they want because they've seen your Instagram and they've seen your website and like they're coming to you because they've seen something that they
I would
like.
say the majority of brides know exactly what they want, or
Exactly
they
what they
have an
want.
idea.
Mhm.
There's all ranges. There's some that like,
You
I
really
want
have
exactly this. Some are like, I don't know. I know what I don't like. And then
Yeah.
there's very few that are like, I have no idea.
Right.
By the time they come to us, they've booked their venue,
Yeah.
potentially their planner.
Right.
Their dress is already purchased. So we
Yeah.
do have a few that don't have their dresses yet, but most of the time they have that.
Yeah.
So like their vision of their wedding has already come into place.
Yeah.
They are coming to us once that vision has already been established
Mhm.
most of the time. We're trying to get ahead of that a little bit and
Yeah.
help them create that vision. So
Yeah.
that's what our focus is going to be in the upcoming years, to kind of shift that so we could be a part of the initial stages of the process.
Yeah.
we can stop talking about cats, guys.
I know. I'm going to go.
What a
into-
buzzkill.
No,
Just
like
don't
that's
fuck
what
with them.
Katie is. Just a buzzkill.
I don't fuck with. Yeah, everyone who knows me knows that about
Cats
me.
mind their business though.
That's the problem. Is I understand how a cat's brain works because it's how my brain works, and it's that like I'm not gonna fuck with you until you prove that I should fuck with you. And I think me and cats look at each other and go, what do you mean you have the audacity to think that about me? Okay. You know what I mean? Like cats are like, prove yourself. I'm like, no, bitch, your turn. Like, it's your
I
turn.
love cats because like they have boundaries.
No, I like dogs because they love you so much they can't even contain it. I think that's how I ended up with Jack. I think I was like, there's so many guys you date in college that are like, they want to like neg you and be like, yeah, you need to prove yourself. And I'm like the first person to go, who the fuck are you talking to? Have you met me? Have you seen me? I'm not playing that game. And then I met Jack, and I remember he was like 2 beers deep 3 nights after I met him, and he was like, I know it's way too soon to say I love you, but I do just, these are the things I love about you, since I can't say I love you. And he's like going, and I literally looked at him and I just went, he's a little puppy dog. Oh my God. I gotta take him home and I gotta keep him there forever. And I did. Yeah. So that's where we're at.
Oh my God. What a dream.
What a dream, right?
Living the dream.
Well, we talked about that in the last episode, how Jack, because they say when you drink, your true personality comes out. And I knew that Jack was like a great guy to be with because he would get 2 beers deep and just be going on and on about how I'm the most beautiful, funny, smart, everything he's ever. And he's like, oh my God, I want to spend every day with you. You're so blah, blah, blah. And part of it's that like when you're a sociopathic 19-year-old, you're like, yes, more. Like he gets
were we supposed to outgrow that? Because I still love that shit.
Yeah. And then another part of it is that I was just like, I had so much experience with dating where I would be like, aren't I so smart and funny and amazing? And they would be like, I don't like that you're self-confident. I was like, why? And I could tell he appreciated that about me. Like he wanted someone who was like, I'm hot shit and I know it. I'm not going to sit here crying about like, do you still like me? Are you mad at me? Because I don't give if you're mad at me, say it. And if you don't like me, you're a crazy person. So I'm not really worried about it. And
why don't you like cats? Because this is what cats are like.
Exactly.
She doesn't want to compete with a cat. It's too much.
That's fair.
The same reason I didn't like Evelyn when I first met her. Too similar. Too similar. We just don't click. I was like, what? Why should I have to prove myself to you and be like, because cats will love you if you like take enough time being like,
right,
you're amazing.
Yeah.
I don't kiss ass, so like I guess I can't be a cat.
Exactly.
owner.
I will not kiss.
Yeah, it's true. You do have to kiss ass to your cat, but I want to. He's so sweet. He's just a little cuddle bug.
That's why I'm like, dogs, I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
My little puppy is wonderful. She's like part cat.
Except for when she tries to bite my face off.
Get out of her
that
face.
would suck.
Get out of her face.
Well, I kind of get that. That's why I love a husky. I love a husky because they are like dogs in the sense that they love you unconditionally, but they're like cats, the way that they move and the way that they like function of being like chill. You know what I mean?
They're so loud though.
Yeah, but I kind of like it. It's like they sing to you.
That's crazy. I'm dying.
Yeah,
He
I have
doesn't
a
make much
video.
noise.
She doesn't.
I have a video of our husky when he met my baby for the first time when she was just a few weeks old. And instead of just doing his usual, like, he was like, his face was so close to her. He just, like, he was baby talking to her, like, look at how cute the little baby is. And it's so cute. It's precious.
I love that.
Anyway, what other questions do we have?
I've got, what are some floral trends that you're loving? Are you seeing trends or are brides asking for things that are so unique? Or is there like a trend that like comes forward?
That we love.
That you love?
What we used to beg for is becoming our new, like,
color.
another one of them.
What?
Yeah.
What is
Color
that?
Cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that a lot, but then you can vary color so much, so
But
it's
first
so
of all,
interesting.
It was like, oh my god, another all white, another all
Right.
white. And
Oh, and
now
now they're doing
blush
like
and white.
the wildflower look with all the
Yeah.
different.
Like,
I love that.
There's a joke of like, oh, it's always the Caitlyn collection because it's all white and greenery.
Yeah.
But
Now she's learned to like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now she loves it. But now the new one is the Lydia, which is like colorful and cottagey, and she's like, another Lydia.
Yeah.
Like, we used to beg for
Really,
this
it's
2
just
years
every
ago.
time we do the same thing over and over again, we just beg for any type of change.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyone who's listening to the podcast right now, if they went to your website and looked up the Lydia,
Yeah.
they could see what we're talking about right now because I'm about
And
to
the
do that.
Caitlyn collection. We
Tell
have all
us
of our
about your
collection.
collections. Like, what does that mean?
So that came up when we were trying to be conscious of budget.
Mhm.
So some brides had a budget, but they also wanted us to decorate the cake and do all that. So we would just do bridal party and maybe decorate the cake. And then we
Mhm.
would show up at the venue and be waiting around for hours to decorate this cake. And I'm like, this is not worth it. I
Yeah.
cannot do this. I remember the cake was late and my kids were with me and we literally were at the venue for 2 hours waiting for this cake to arrive. So I was like, something's got to change. I want to still I need to raise my prices, but I still need to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
So I've seen other florists do this around the nation where they have these pre-curated sets that people can purchase. So we've come up with some so that we can meet all needs for the most part. It's a $300 minimum, which is very reasonable.
Very.
And they get to pick from how many do we,
like
20, yeah, over 20 right now available. And then they can modify it up to 2 different ways. So like color, texture, you know, as long as it's within that criteria of the collection. Because we don't want to spend all the time. There's no need to meet with us if you have one of these collections. We are not going to decorate the cake. We're not going to do any setup because it's just a drop-off service.
Set up, but they also don't pay our
setup fee. They're not paying for
just
us.
getting
for
the flowers
and delivery and we have a little service fee that is attached, but it's just like a pickup drop off service. Because sometimes they have family members who are like, I got it, I'll set it up, or the venue provides all the decorations, and that's totally fine. We're not going to exclude those people.
Right.
So, but then we have the people who want everything. They want the whole experience where we deliver to multiple locations. We decorate everything. We collaborate with every vendor. We're hanging from the chandeliers. We're doing all the things, and we do the tear downs at the end of the night. They want the whole experience, and we wanted to appeal to those people as well. So this was just our way to be able to do both, but set those boundaries, and it's worked out really well.
I bet it appeals to brides that are working with a certain floral budget, but I bet it also appeals to like your type A, very organized bride who just wants to go, yep, I'm going to get that, add to cart, done.
People who don't know what they want start with like, I like this collection. And then we make it.
We
kind of like
upgrade it
expand from there.
We upgrade it to a custom wedding.
Like
Well, they like to also know what the prices are up front, and what's happened with all of these collections. I've created all the formulas, so I know exactly what it's going to cost us.
Yes.
So like, there's no hidden prices with that. That's what the cost is. But with custom weddings, I have to spend so much time getting these certain seasonal blooms
calculating.
That I have to put much more time into it. So you have to configure all of that into it as well.
Yeah, I can see how that plays into a certain personality really well. Like it kind of plays into that like online shopping thing, right? Where like you get an immediate answer and you know what you're going to get, and like you know what you're giving them and they know what they're getting. It's really smart.
Well, all of our brides, like for the most part, you'll see the shift when we get somebody who inquires and they're having trouble with filling out the brochure, or they're calling us. We're like, ooh, this is a mother of a bride.
Yeah.
The brides, they don't need to speak to us for the most part. They're doing everything digitally, and then they schedule a meeting with us or a phone call with us. But like the mothers want that.
Yeah.
Talk me through it,
guide me through the whole process. Brides, like, you know, in their 20s, 30s, they're like, I got it. I can figure it out.
That's similar to what we do for marketing. I know Sarah's talked about that like when we talk about, you know, we have our Instagram and our TikTok and stuff, and we kind of sit around as 20-year-olds do and go, Facebook. Why do we still have Facebook?
Facebook's for moms.
It's for moms.
Sarah says it's for
Mom's
moms.
still there.
They're paying. They're sharing. They're like, I like this florist, do this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're seeing what their friends' kids are doing at their weddings, and Facebook's for moms. I mean, brides they're not telling you that they see you on Facebook, but the data says otherwise.
Yeah, of course.
Like the data says they're going from Facebook to our website.
There's still, young people are still on Facebook.
Yes. They're going to say they found you on Instagram.
Our Instagram though.
Yeah.
I don't like their little thing.
They're going to say Instagram.
Out of all the
But
social
when I
media,
pull the data,
Instagram is number one for like a honey book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's because Instagram is your aesthetic, right?
Correct.
Like Instagram is like pretty.
Yeah, we try really hard to keep that aesthetically pleasing, whereas Facebook is like, share that to they aren't going to see every post anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So like we can share more to
pump
them.
it all out.
Correct.
That's right. Yeah. But when we pull the data for like conversions from social media to our website, Facebook is like way up there.
People
So
still
like
use it.
we see y'all. You're saying Instagram, but we see y'all. You're coming from Facebook.
Okay, I know it's probably about time for us to get to Smash or Pass, but I had another question.
Sure.
I know that Sarah says this a lot about, because you're the first person that we've, you know, had on the podcast where you have employees, you know. And I know that Sarah says a lot that she's very lucky that Bustle has employees where we all really, as she says, buy in to like what we're about.
Yeah, it really matters.
I feel very clear as far as Bustle goes as to what like that buy-in looks like, you know, and it's just being like cult of the bride. Like our bride can do no wrong.
Yeah, we're just obsessed with them.
Like
that's right.
It's just about whatever she wants that makes her happy, and it's not about like we've learned that when your focus is truly on the bride being happy and not on making money, you make more money.
You do.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Well, what I tell them is like, they don't need to know how we're making this happen.
Right.
We're gonna get crafty right now with a can of spray paint, and we're gonna make these white hydrangeas blue.
Yep.
Because there is a demand for blue hydrangeas, and I can't get them all the time.
Right.
So like, they don't need to know that.
Yeah.
That's our little tricks.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need to know how those things are happening. So ultimately, it's like, we're going to make it happen. Make it happen from do not bother them on their wedding day.
Right.
Just get it done.
Yeah, I guess like because that's my question is like because anyone I think who works in bridal, I think you need employees that, you know, quote unquote buy into it.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Is it the same? If it's the same thing of like whatever the bride wants, you get it, and that's just what's done, then great. Is it a hard working kind of buy? Because Sarah could be like, for you guys to buy in, I need you to break a sweat every shift, and I cannot promise that with everyone we have on staff. This is a cushy job, y'all. We are spoiled ass rotten, but I mean, is that what it looks like for you?
No, it's more of like, we know that it's not going to work out exactly like they planned because that's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Because the tablecloth might be different because they added guests or they took away guests or the tablecloths didn't hit the ground, so they moved the tables to a smaller size. So like there's so many factors that go into the day. So like I tell my brides, you can plan all you want, but you're hiring us because we know how to make it look good when there are problems that occur because they're inevitable. So a flexibility is the most important thing.
They've got to be able to pivot.
They have to be able to pivot. They have to problem solve, and they have to do it gracefully. Yeah, you can get pissed off. You need to go vent with your team members that are with you, and then, okay, we're going to figure out this is the plan.
Right.
That's justified. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we work with so many different vendors on the day of, like maybe they didn't tell us that there was a specialty tablecloth underneath this huge installation that we have to like redo. Sucks. It sucks, but we got to get it done.
But that's why they're hiring you.
Yeah.
So that you figure all of that out during the day. Yeah. And then when they get there, all they see and all their guests see is just gorgeous florals.
Girl knew nothing about
nothing.
No, that's for us to worry about.
She showed up and was like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's for us to worry about the behind the scenes.
And if they bring it up, like, why didn't you do that? Oh, I'm so sorry. The venue didn't allow us to do that. But we did our best. We brought in other things to make it beautiful for you.
I just fought your venue coordinator.
Right.
Like, she almost wasn't there for that.
That is extremely impressive. I don't know how important flexibility is with our job. Like, I feel like it is, but I feel like it's more, there's a point where something pops up where it's like, this is something that needs to be shifted and we need to be flexible about, or this thing needs to change. And that's usually the point where it's brought up to me.
But also we have so much more time. Like we have months and months to be flexible and come up with solutions. I say this all the time about my vendor friends that are there on the day of the wedding. You guys are problem solving in like a 3-hour
you're pressed for time because the venue does not want you there earlier than they said. Some of them are really flexible. Right. But a lot of them are not. And you're pressed for time. You're like, okay, well, the clock is ticking. I got to get this done. And now I have to pace myself.
Like their mirror broke.
Oh yeah!
Remember it shattered.
Remember whenever like the weather was horrible and they shut everything down on a Saturday and like
we still had a wedding.
We still had a wedding.
They can't reschedule that.
I am so sorry. The wedding is still going to go on, so we're going to try to pivot. Well, some of our staff members packed our mirror where you couldn't see it inside the vehicle. They did it like the day before. So whenever the other team member who didn't pack the van lifted the back, it fell out.
No.
Oh, God.
And had a big crack down the middle. So I said, okay, team, this is what we're doing. Hannah and Mitzi, y'all are going to Hobby Lobby to buy a Cricut and a new mirror. Make it as close to this mirror as possible. And we're going to figure it out.
Vinyl either. Like, we had a girl that we were outsourcing for vinyl. So we bought a Cricut. And
learned how to use it
at the venue and had the mirror up in time.
And that's
one of the names was like this because I put it on there, but like still it said what it needed to.
And that's what your bride is paying for.
Yep.
So that's what your couple's paying for y'all to figure that kind of stuff out. They don't need to know.
Yep.
That's so impressive to me.
That is really impressive.
Because we don't panic. I don't panic because I know that we have time. I've got 3 months to figure this out.
Remember when that cake started collapsing?
Yeah,
we were at the Southern Hotel and we were
the day after
exhausted.
Biggest wedding to date.
And then we had like a second huge wedding in the Southern Hotel with this big installation. So we were all burnt crispy. Like we were in the fountain doing
I'm
things like
food from the bridal suite. Like I'm dead.
we're so exhausted. The very last thing we're doing is decorating this cake. I decorate it. I'm walking away and Hannah's like, Randee, that cake moved.
I was the last one to walk out, and like I looked back, and the cake was like this, and it was like this. I was like,
was it like a heat thing? Was it like, or was it just like a structure?
It was one of those classic ones with the columns in between. So what happened was they didn't dowel the bottom tier either properly or at all. So it was starting to break down.
Oh no.
So the Southern Hotel has a chef.
Thank God.
So the planner got him.
Shout
I was like watching him like, I'll cover up whatever I need to cover up because like that's part of it too. Like we make things look good that look bad.
Right.
So he ended up taking the columns out and making it a stack cake, and then we had to put flowers on it. But like, what are you gonna do about that?
Like you have
that
to
wasn't our fault, but we still had to make it look good.
Yeah.
So like, you just get that adrenaline. You just do it.
Yeah.
The adrenaline
you just like
hits
make
you.
it happen.
I'm going to say right now, because I'm reminded of when we had Shelby on and we had asked her about like having a wedding planner. And she said that there was a wedding planner once who, the bride was running late for the ceremony and the wedding planner called for a police escort. She was like, that right there is why you pay for a wedding planner. Like if you
They know what to do.
They know what to do.
If you can afford it, you do it because they're going to be the person that has the solutions to whatever problem pops up on the wedding day.
Yep.
That right there is the biggest like ad that you guys could give, because I'm just thinking for every bride that I know that ordered my sister, she ordered dried flowers for her wedding. She got them 8 months in advance. She was having a fall wedding. The flowers were very pretty and they're still up on my mantle because they're dried flowers. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
The question, it's the same thing about ordering a veil online. What you're paying for is having someone there the day of. Now, my sister had me and no one else holding flowers on her wedding day. Yeah. She had a small little micro wedding. There were 11 people there. She had no other floral decor. She could spend the smallest amount of money on some flowers that were dried and say they'll be ready 8 months in advance, whatever. Right. But if you're having a true ceremony, you've got over 50 people there. If you have more than one person standing in your bridal party, I don't know, shit's gonna happen. Like you pay for this so that you have someone there with the expertise.
Yeah. Right.
So many things like that like we've saved the day silently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God,
oh, you're better than me. I'd be very loud about it. I'd be like, now that your wedding is over, this is what happened and this is how I fixed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bride I had who moved her wedding up 6 months, and I called Sarah and I was like, this is what we're doing and blah, 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 blah. And I just need to let the bride know. Oh, not Justine. I was like, I just need to let the bride know.
Yeah, she does,
when I
like
tell
really
you,
badly.
No, real
She's
bad.
manifesting that real bad.
She is right now. But I told Sarah, I was like, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, should I call the bride and let her know that this is what's happening? Or should I not worry her about it because ultimately it's going to be okay? And Sarah said, call her. Sarah said, tell her what we're doing for her. You know what I mean?
Once you have a solution,
Once
let
you
them
have
know.
a solution, why wouldn't you call her and be like,
Well,
look,
yeah. We don't have time the day of because we're not bothering her.
No.
Yeah.
So
Like,
we're
this is like
telling the planner,
months of us.
hey, this is what occurred and we fixed it. We did this. So
Yeah.
if you notice something's
Relay
out of
it.
whack, like,
well, and
just
you've also
let them
got to
know
keep
that.
in mind that we have to worry about the bride coming back with her friend who just got engaged and her friend saying, well, I heard she moved up her wedding by 6 months and y'all fixed it, so I can do the same thing, right?
You would say, like, that was really an exception and very challenging.
Yes.
I got my hand slapped for it. Like, I don't know if I can make that happen again.
That's my favorite thing to do is being like, whew, congratulations, you guys. My boss is not happy with me, but I managed to make this happen. Sarah does not even know about it. Sarah, first of all, I handled it so well that like Sarah didn't have to know that it was even a problem in the first place.
So the bride brings it up with me. I'm like, really?
If I had $1 for every time Sarah
and
walked
what did we do about it? We did something, right? Okay, great.
Sarah walks past my appointment on a Saturday, and the bride is like, thank you so much, Sarah. And Sarah's like, sure. And
I'm like me, I'm like, they're getting emails. Randee, we talked about this and we did that. I'm like, what?
Who's
They're signing my name on the emails. I'm like, please take credit for this.
No, I sign my name on every email because my goal one day is to be like a designer rep. Like that's what I want to do career wise. Like whenever I can finally bring myself to separate from the entity that is Bustle, and I don't see that happening anytime soon.
I was like, give me a timeline. Damn.
When it happens, she knows that like eventually when because it's hard to be a rep when you have young kids.
Yeah.
And she knows that eventually that's the goal. And I sign every single email. I'm like, Katie, sales manager, Bustle. I'm like, you know me, queen. You're going to remember me whenever you see that resume too, right?
She just wants the invitation to their reception that she's not going to show up to. She wants no
You just
other
want to
credit.
be invited.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're like at home in your PJs with your cat at 8 o'clock. Like, hope that's going well.
Yeah, if you have basic like audio retention skills, you will remember that I want them to remember me so bad, and all they will remember me as is the person who cried on the phone about, can I please get this in? And I'm like, God, I keep hitting that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get a job one day. It'll happen.
People want something and like I'll put it on there and like I won't tell her because like so many people I'll talk to from beginning to end, but then she orders all the flowers.
Right.
So like she'll get someone and she's like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. That was 8 months ago. I don't know anything about it.
Notes, tons of notes.
Yeah.
Tons of notes. That's it.
She, we have our strengths.
We all have our
I'm like, I
strengths.
don't know anything about that. What's that?
Yeah, we make it work.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did you mean
I feel
by
like I
this?
could end up yapping with you guys for 3 more hours, so you need to go ahead and do smash or pass before I do.
Okay, yes. So we do this segment called Smash or Pass.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. If you like something, it's a smash. If you don't like something, it's a pass.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have this little button. And if it's a smash, you hit it and it says smash. So I'll just demonstrate it for you.
My name is Dad. I'm a stylist at Bustle, and they literally trapped me in this button.
So we'll just put that to the side.
Were you waiting for that?
Great. Okay.
Oh my
So we'll
God.
just say smash.
I told her to record over the smash, and then we got goofy with it because it did have Jay's voice. We were like, well, we can't have a man's
Yeah,
voice
no,
on the
we don't want a
podcast.
man. Yeah. He can do the work, but not be present. Okay. Okay. So smash or pass. Silk flowers for bridal portraits, like a silk version of their bouquet when they're taking bridal portraits. What do you think?
Ooh, I have mixed feelings on that.
Let's hear it.
Pass, yeah.
Pass to custom. I'm not making a custom silk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Smash to like, I forgot that my bridals are tomorrow and I need you to make me a bouquet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have
Smash that like I don't want to pay $300 for my fresh bouquet.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have silk ones available for those people
I was going to ask.
who just want to rent it or forget that they have bridals.
Yeah.
That's for people that are so picky that they're like, what is it going to look like? I'm like, please let us make one for you beforehand.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want to shank us wedding day.
Right.
So,
So do you have like a collection of silk bouquets that they can?
Yep. We have about a dozen and we're going to redo them this summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll come up with
And just like
new
lend them
ones.
out for that. Yeah.
yeah.
And are you doing silk flowers for weddings? No. Okay. This is just for like,
use silk, but we do it in our big installations.
yeah, to
We
kind of
don't-
fill.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lightweight things like chandeliers that you can't put a lot of weight on. So we'll use artificial flowers to keep the weight down.
that.
Yeah. Or it's just certain looks like, columns and structures and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've gotten really creative with the silk. So like I'm not anti-silk anymore,
Mhm.
but I don't like doing custom silks for bouquets
Yeah.
because it can become very costly.
Right.
And it can cost
Same price
way
as fresh.
more
Right.
or way more than
Yeah.
fresh if you want good quality because I'm not going to go get it from just any store.
Right. Like some silk flowers, you're like from a mile away, you're like, oh, no.
Right.
But then some of them are like really high quality.
Right. And they're going to be like quadruple the price of a fresh
Right.
flower.
Right. So it's not really like a cost savings.
It's not.
Because
No.
it's still your time arranging it,
Correct.
making it look right.
If I did it to the caliber, I would want it to be, it's going to be more expensive than
Yeah.
a fresh bouquet.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of brides that just completely forget and they're calling you a week before and they're
And we
like,
tell
what do
them
I
from
do?
the
The
day
day
before.
before.
And we tell them, and we're like, we can either make it from our fresh flower bar or we can offer you these silk ones, but it's not
Right.
going to be like your wedding day one.
Until
Right.
you asked them that question, I did not even think about that as
Yeah.
being something that
It happens to us with veils.
Oh,
Yeah, they'll call us like literally the week of bridal portraits or the day before or the
bridal
day
portraits
of.
are the bane of my existence, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
That's like a
That's
whole
why
thing.
I started doing the silk ones to begin
Yeah.
with because it was becoming very problematic
Mhm.
for last minute people or weather. Like with
Yeah.
the silk, you can postpone.
Yeah.
Indefinitely, right?
Right.
But with fresh, we can only hold your bouquet for 1 week to guarantee freshness.
Right.
But after that, you're gonna have to order another one, and these could be upwards of $300.
Right.
So
I mean, I'll leave it up to Sarah as to whether or not she wants to cut this, but I mean, we have brides who come in the week before their bridals, and they're like, I scheduled my bridals to be 2 months before my wedding, and I didn't even think about the fact that my veil's not here yet. What do I do? I don't want to have to buy a whole other veil. And we've had to just be like, just borrow our 4 samples.
Yeah, we do that pretty frequently.
Please bring it back.
Or just be a little different
here.
than your wedding day. That's what I tell them too. Like, you don't have to have the exact bouquet
As far as
for your
our
wedding day.
section of the wedding
like,
day goes, the bridals are not ever supposed to be a little bit different than the wedding day.
Well,
like,
for us,
For
like,
flowers,
we're like,
yes.
just
For flowers,
this is your
it's
chance
fair.
to like see if you want a colorful bouquet,
Right,
Or a
see what it
bouquet.
looks
I
like.
still can't believe that people use their bridals to do their hair and makeup, quote unquote, trials. Queen.
They do.
Because
They do.
I'm like, the dress has to be perfect, veil has to be perfect, everything has to be perfect down to the hem. And then you're like, yeah, we're winging it with the eye makeup. What?
I
Yeah.
would like do trials and then like hire your photographer longer that day to have more photos of you, not anything in advance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But silk bridal bouquets for the bridal portraits.
Generally a pass.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
Even though we have them.
Yes. But
In
it's-
emergencies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about, all right, smash or pass, the floral pocket squares instead of boutonnieres, like the little like florals that they're putting like in the pockets. Like, what do we think about that?
I still like them. Smash.
Smash.
I'm not over them yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Has that been really trendy? Like, I feel like I'm just seeing
Oh yeah,
it, but
like
y'all
we
have
have,
been
we have
doing
like
it.
24 coming up, by the way, from one client.
Yeah. So, I mean, y'all are planning it for like a year and then we're seeing pictures, now, right?
Yeah.
So like that means y'all have been doing it for a long time. So you're not tired of it yet.
No, because
I
it
think
took a
they're so
while for us
cute.
to start doing it. We don't see things, you probably can agree, we don't see
Nope.
trends to happen.
Correct.
It takes years for those trends to take off, and then we start
Right.
seeing a lot of it, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
We're like, really cool concept a few years ago. Then like it started a little bit, and now everybody's doing
Yeah.
it.
Started it like earlier because like
No,
2 years ago,
right.
we're like, please do a pocket square, and now we have 17,000 of them. We're like,
Right.
This takes so long to make.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're so cute.
I like
though.
them. I like
They're really
them.
cute.
I like it. It's fun. It's different. Okay, smash. Okay, cool. Okay, smash or pass. A floral print wedding dress. Like what's behind you here? Like from a florist perspective, I've always
Smash
wondered
if you bring
this.
it to us and let us match it.
And let you match the flowers.
Yeah.
I'm never opposed to being different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say smash.
Do you like it?
Yeah. I
Mhm.
prefer like more traditional wedding dresses and
Yeah.
more floral bridesmaids and doing like
Okay.
different prints for that.
Yeah. So like we have like this is trending for us now. These like some colors on the dress, like different designs. And they'll ask us in the appointment, well, what kind of bouquet am I going to do with this? What's your immediate vision?
Well, you never want to take away from the dress. So
Right.
I would keep it, and most the color would be soft pastels, similar to that. They don't have to do every single color in here.
Right.
Maybe like if they really love the pink, then like
Yeah.
just pinks and whites, or if they like the lavenders, you want to pull whatever, your bouquet is going to pull it all together.
Yeah.
So like your whole wedding vision. So like whatever color is your favorite from this,
Mhm.
then pull that out. I wouldn't do all the colors.
No.
Because then it's just kind of like they're all on the dress
Yeah.
and they're all in the bouquet.
I would even do like a neutral bouquet with this.
Right, or like
I
neutral
wondered.
with like touches of like the green. Like imagine like neutrals with like green.
Yeah,
hanging in
I would
place.
keep
That
it
would match
super,
that.
super
yeah.
soft.
Yeah.
That would be so good.
You can do
It's
color,
tiny.
but very
Small.
So small.
Yeah,
but,
'cause you don't
like,
wanna take away from that.
Not
Yeah, because-
super, like compact, but like where you
Right.
can see through it almost.
When
Yeah.
they're choosing a dress like this, like obviously it's like because it stands out and they
Right.
want it to like really show. So that makes sense.
You want the bouquets to enhance the dress and not like
Mhm.
take over the dress.
We love that. We love to hear
You're
that.
so real for that.
So real for
I mean,
that.
and it
Thank
depends
you.
on the bride's personality. If they want a giant bouquet, okay, we'll make you a giant
That's
bouquet.
what I
Like
say about veils. Well, and I tell brides that when they come in wanting something extremely dramatic, and they say, I'm a very dramatic person and I
Mhm.
want the drama on my wedding day, and then they fall in love with something that's like super clean and
Yeah.
super classic. And I tell them, I'm like, look, the good news is you can do whatever you want with everything else, with the flowers.
right, it's a whole
veils,
look. It's all
flowers,
together.
right.
And everything is working
Yeah.
together to make this artistic expression.
Art. It's just art, start to finish.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, cool. Do you want to take this last one?
Oh gosh, I'm scared. Smash or pass when somebody contacts you the week of their boss's birthday to order flowers.
Smash. We're good with that.
Woo.
We do things all the time. We had a funeral, the funeral. Somebody contacted us the night
before.
They ordered from the online obituary instead of going through our website, and like we made it happen. I was like, Hannah, I'm gonna send her the invoice. Can you like
I was already
at 6 a.m. Can you like get that done? And we make it happen.
Do you guys ever? Okay, yeah. Last question, I swear. Okay, we have the fiance notes, right? So we see the notes that the fiance wants to leave for the bride, and a lot of times they're funny, like they're goofy, they're entertaining, right? Do you guys ever see the notes that are being messages? Yeah, because I know we've
not for
some...
wedding days, but we see some crazy stuff for Valentine's.
Did you guys see what we sent in for both Sarah and Natalie's? Because I picked it up. Both of them I picked up at a different time than I told you guys I would
Sarah's,
be there.
I mean, I remember Natalie's being funny, but I cannot remember what
Natalie's
it says.
was like, she had just turned 13, and it was like, or no, 14. And the card said, finally old enough to understand Bonnie Bear.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I didn't read Sarah's. I don't know.
Sarah said, so we couldn't get her the flowers the week of her birthday because she was in New York. And so when we got her the flowers the next week, it said, sorry, these were late. You were too busy being the HBIC NYC or something like that. And that's what Sarah said. And then it said because we got the Mother's Day, what was like out around the same time that Sarah's birthday happened, and she loves Pride and Prejudice. Yeah. So we got the Pride and Prejudice
that hit
book
so hard.
vase.
It was so good.
Y'all's vases, by the way,
top tier.
I don't give a shit.
Tier.
You could put literal feces in those vases. They're worth the cost of the flowers just to have the vase forever. I love them.
All the time of putting cat shit in things.
Hannah makes style.
Me and Hannah are right here.
Like, we get to a certain point in the week, like Miss Becky's like, Hannah, does this look right? And I'm like, Miss Becky, right now you could put a cat turd on a stick and put it in the middle of that shit.
And it would be great.
We're constantly under pressure and we have deadlines. So like as the
That
week
is
progresses,
something-
our level of like, I don't care, get it done. Like we still want it to look good, but like we don't agonize over it as much.
Well, first
But
of all,
the vases they're so good.
They're really good. They're really good. And that's what I put on the note for Sarah was like once the card was in the envelope, I put on like the little envelope. I was like, we have so much pride and prejudice in you. And then in parentheses, I put, I didn't read the book.
I don't know. I never read the book.
I didn't read the book.
Yeah.
But I will say that is something that I feel like anyone listening to this podcast will get a kick out of, because I didn't realize this until like Women's Wedding Society was a thing, and I was like actually having contact with you guys as vendors, that like florists really, y'all are running around like, I don't know why, I just pictured like these girly pop
Like,
cottage
just, like, calmly,
tour.
like,
fingernails, they're never nice.
Like how Martha Stewart is just sitting there like,
right.
she's high,
No.
she's just vibing.
There's this misconception. It's so common. We hear it all the time. Oh, you get to play with flowers all the time. And you're like, I'm in the trenches.
Yeah.
I am like mid-shin deep in flower debris. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten in hours.
I'm so glamorous.
I
My
feel
hands
so
are
bad
sticky.
for you
I have
guys.
thorns. Like we go to bed, we go take baths, and the next day we're like, oh my god.
It's
I
so
have
glamorous.
thorns.
I
It's
can't
not
imagine that, because
glamorous at
people
all.
tell me, like, I imagine your job so much fun. You can play dress up whenever you want, and you just get to hang out with brides. And I'm like, yeah.
That's actually it.
Like, yeah,
we
that's
do
it.
find a lot of like pleasure in it. We do enjoy it, even when we're exhausted. We could be dead tired, like
Right.
flipping each other off. See you later.
Yeah.
We're still going to be sending each other Instagram reels, like, "Hey, you want to try this next time?"
Yes. It's addictive.
Yeah,
It's addictive.
yeah.
Wow. This has been so much fun.
I know.
Thank
I feel like we
you
can
so
cut the
much.
cans and we can just have 4 more drinks and like hang out for a while. Because Jay, you can go home.
You can go. We're done with you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
My husband's got the kids. Like, we're good.
We're good.
Last week of school, they're all set.
Oh, God. We're all good.
Who are we having next week? Is it Jack?
It's Jack Rooney.
Yes, that's my man.
My head bartender.
That's my man.
Bartender. We're going to talk
And I told
cocktails and crazy parties.
Yeah, Jay's got a look on his face like, I'm going to see what guy deals with that. An angel, that's who deals with
We're
that.
getting a lot of good feedback from the cocktails and flowers. Like I mentioned to Women's
so
Wedding Society. We
excited.
haven't advertised it yet. Like our girl Ava's going to do it like probably this week.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to go really well. I think we'll have to do it as a regular thing.
I'm
if
really
y'all
excited.
don't.
Wait,
I
is
bought
that
it for
a
my
thing?
mom
What
and
is
my
that?
mother-in-law. Did you see?
I saw that.
They're
Oh,
gonna
you don't
have
even
fun.
know?
No, I don't know. I'm not. First
That's
of all,
a separate business.
Hannah's going to teach that one. She says I'm not allowed there.
is that what is it?
So
Flowers and
y'all are
biz.
going to make.
Fleur de Fizz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's doing cocktails with flowers.
Yep.
First of all, that's fucking precious.
Yeah.
Second
It's
of
gonna be
all,
really cute.
I don't know what special event it was for that Sarah got all of the girls at Bustle a little like iced
It was
coffee.
it was
from you guys.
Valentine's.
Was it Valentine's?
It was Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The
I
coffee and
loved-
flowers.
I loved you
It
guys.
was such a fun little
you.
treat.
That was so stinking cute.
That's when we were in the trenches.
Oh,
Okay,
our
like
busy season.
yeah, like February, like we're in the trenches. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
We don't
Like,
get
here's
out
some
of the
coffee and
trenches.
flowers.
Busy season is every month except July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because y'all's busy season, I think people go, oh, well, wedding season's this time. People get
No.
married all the
All
time.
year.
No, in
all year
Louisiana, it's
round.
different than everywhere
Even-
else.
Yeah.
Up north, they get married in the summer. People don't get married in the summer here.
No,
Like
it's
June's
brutal.
busy, but like it fades out.
Yeah.
But it's not like a traditional wedding
No.
season here.
Yeah.
But this summer we have like 4 destination weddings. People coming to New Orleans and they don't know that they're
They
gonna
don't know it's
die.
gonna
I'm
Yeah.
doing my first destination wedding in a few weeks in Seattle. So I'll be doing the flowers
cool.
there.
Oh my
It's
god, that's so
husband.
fun.
So like Hannah's like, sign me up. I wanna
Yeah,
do it.
for
so we had
real.
we had to prove to my husband like it's a thing.
Like we're going to Europe next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
Crazy. Yeah, our busy season happens because honestly, it's the same reason there's so many September babies. Okay, Christmas is the most romantic time of the year.
Yeah, engagement
I said
season
what I
is like
said.
Thanksgiving to Valentine's.
Yeah.
Like that whole time frame.
Yes,
And then they
so-
started hitting us up.
Yes, and
Yep.
when you're a little girl, you're not sitting at home. Besides, I'll give you guys the flowers, okay? I'll give you the flowers. But besides that, the thing when you're a little girl sitting at home daydreaming about is not the chairs, okay?
No, it's
it's
the
not
dress.
the chairs,
Right.
it's the dress.
It's the
And
dress.
so as soon as they get that ring on their finger, they're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get the
December
dress.
26th, we get
I
appointment.
really think you should have your dress before you venue first. Like you got to get your venue.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
you got to know when your time frame is to like get this dress
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
But like have an idea. But then you pick out your dress and then you pick out everything.
Yeah, and then
else.
everything else, yeah, we're sort of
But
set in stone.
like the cushy part of my job always subsides for a little bit during busy season. I know I sent Evelyn a picture of me in a dress, and I was like, I said, this dress is pretty. I'm going to wear it to your wedding. Because it's a long story, but I was like, I'm going to wear this white dress to your wedding. And she was like, why are you, she had seen in the picture that there were some boxes that needed to be unboxed in the back. And she said, why are you playing dress up while there's boxes to be unboxed? And I said, I haven't gotten to try a dress on in like 6 months.
Yeah.
This is the whole point, okay? And I was like, I'm
This is
putting
why
the
I
dress
work
on.
here.
And she said, if you say so. And then I just zoomed in on the picture of me in the dress, and you can see my face. My eyes are half closed, and I'm just like, oh God. Like, I'm like barely hanging on. And so I zoomed in and I screenshotted that face, and I said, this is the face of a tired woman. Let me have this. Let me play dress up. But when it's not busy season, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's just getting ready for busy season, which is all just like theoretical.
Yeah.
we still
Like, it's
make
not real,
things
it's real.
happen.
It's real.
Like Hannah's like wants to murder me,
Yeah,
but I'm like, oh, so what we're gonna do in July to generate business? We're gonna do a bunch of workshops, and we're gonna.
I think it's
paint
really
the
smart,
floor,
actually.
and we're gonna redo
I
all
think
the
it's really
cabinets.
Shit, but like, give me a fucking break.
Request off.
I would love.
You're not going to want to be off that day. It's going to be really fun.
She's like, so that week that we're painting all that stuff, I'm like, I mean, you only have to do it part of the time. She's like, no, I'm gonna be staying in some cabinets. I'm like, what do you want from me? You want to do it.
You wanna do it.
Email. No, that's what I want. I don't want to answer one email.
fine.
You just want to do like physical
I want
stuff.
to paint the cabinets
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
I have some
I
things
get
you can
it.
paint in here if you want
No,
to show
I
up.
can, no, don't let her do it. I've been asking. I really want to paint stuff here.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be fun. I'm like, give me some frog tape. Come on, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like,
no, her favorite thing is to be like, oh, we don't have any weddings that week. I'm like, oh, thank God we can breathe. She's like, we're going to do this and this and this. And I'm like,
yeah.
As a business
work
owner,
for
I have to
free.
guarantee y'all have jobs.
Yeah,
okay?
literally.
So
We
like,
gotta come
I
up with
gotta
stuff for
always
you to
have a flow of
do.
income.
always
I
tell
do
her,
feel for
I'm
her.
not worried about my job.
She doesn't care about anybody
I'm
else.
not worried. Like I'm saying, get rid of me.
Legit.
No, she just like,
Legit.
oh my God.
There's a 50% part of me that like all I do is worry about my job because I like love
Good.
my job
Love
so
that part.
much that I'm like, I have to do whatever I can at all times to make sure that I'm making Sarah happy.
That's right.
And doing
Good
my
energy.
job correctly so that I
Keep
can
that up.
keep my job. Sarah, we know. I'm like already doing it, but that's why it happens because I'm like, oh yeah, I got to make sure I do everything perfectly. And Sarah, instead of going, yeah, but maybe take a deep breath, and like she goes, yep, yeah, you do.
Feel the pressure. I feel it all the time.
The other
You feel it
50%
too.
part of me, when I actually get to the point where I'm genuinely overwhelmed by my job, that's when I know that I have been working my ass off so hard, and that's the only time I don't quote unquote worry about my job. I'm like, Sarah's not gonna give it. If Sarah,
We're killing it.
If Sarah doesn't have to know,
Damn, is this ever gonna end?
if Sarah
I'm
doesn't,
not worried. Okay.
Sarah doesn't have to know about what that
Literally,
50% of my job was that made me push to the brink of like I'm gonna lose it, and Sarah doesn't even know what's going on about it. I'm doing something right.
Correct.
Okay, I'm doing something
Everything
right.
that's going on with her. She tells me everything.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
Probably
Sarah-
too much.
Sarah says that about me. She says I call her too much.
She does.
I do. I call her all the
We don't
time.
speak to each other on the phone.
I call her all
No,
the time.
Well, I work from home a lot, and so like she's calling me once a
year.
yeah.
So, like, I just
Well, my kids get off the bus there, so I'm like, I gotta be there at some
Yeah.
In my defense, when I first started at Bustle, well, except the first week, my first week at Bustle, Sarah was at Market with Evelyn in Chicago, and I didn't see her for a week. I was like, I met my boss one time after my working interview. I don't know. And then after
Should've kept it that way.
she was there. She was there very frequently, and because she like definitely kind of had to be like Bustle has
for a
only
while.
become more and more of like a, as she likes to put it, like a self-sustaining entity.
Yeah.
And
That's the goal, right?
I'm
Yeah.
the self. Okay.
Gold trots.
Against me.
Tell y'all something.
Every summer.
I got some years on you. I can do that.
She's complaining that I call her, and I'm like, I'm just calling to complain about what I had to deal with this designer or whatever. And I'm like,
I pay you to do that.
Yeah.
Write it in your journal, babe. Like,
I called her earlier today because I was like, this thing is happening and it's not a problem yet, but if it ends up being a problem, I might end up having to spend under $200. And I know you said that if it costs less than $200 and makes the bride happy, just do it and don't bother you with it. But I don't know that it's a problem yet. So would it be wrong of me to spend that money now before it's a problem? And she's like, Katie, shut the fuck up. She's like, spend the money if you have to, and goodbye.
I'm like, it's worth $200 to end this phone call. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Right.
Goodbye.
Right.
What a nice ability to like, what a nice thing to have the ability to be like, I actually want to be off the phone so bad, I'm going to throw $200 at you.
Give you $200.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start. I'm going to be like, Sarah, it would cost less than $200 to shut me up right now.
I'll be
Yeah,
like,
throw it at me.
here's the check.
She's globetrotting, and like I'm doing.
Good for you, queen.
No, but she's like on the camera, like, what are you doing?
I'm not looking at the camera.
What
Seeing the
fuck?
emails.
I do that.
Whatever.
I do that.
You're in Greece. She's like, this. Did you see this? Did you see this? I'm like, yes, I saw it. There's 1,000 other things that also need to be done. Stop it.
I
Go
tell
back to
the
your
girls
igloo.
that.
She's like in Canada,
She's gonna snap.
in an igloo.
You need to get her some coffee
She's
and Chick-fil-A
No.
immediately.
She's in an igloo. Like, make sure you respond to this like this. And I'm like, stop it. Leave
Hey,
it alone.
Look, that's why these businesses are what they are, because we're type A control freaks, okay?
Yeah, even though she drives me absolutely.
Yeah, I really, though, I will say that's something that this is going to sound like a humble brag, and I swear to God, I don't.
She's never been humble a day in her life.
No, I really haven't, but
That's true.
it's not, the point of me saying this is not to humble brag. It's a different point I'm trying to make. If I work with a bride and it's like a wonderful appointment where I can tell I'm doing a wonderful job, and I know that the bride and her party know that I'm doing a wonderful job.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, like, the conversation comes up of like, oh, well, our store owner, fill in the blank. Our store owner loves getting these dresses in. Our store owner likes us to do this or do that, whatever. The second that Sarah comes up, the mom or the aunt will say, you know what? I hope one day you own your own bridal store. And I tell them immediately, I go, don't you put that on me.
She doesn't want any of that. She wants none of this responsibility.
I don't want to own a store. No, I love what I do. And if I move up in bridal, I would love to work for a rep. I feel like the travel would be amazing. I feel like being able to work one-on-one with
love it.
And see how different stores work. I think I have the personality for it. Like Sarah can tell you that. And I work so well with so many different types of people, especially whenever they are truly trying to do their own thing. And I'm so supportive of that I know I'd work well one-on-one with like store owners. And that's the goal. To own a bridal shop and deal with all of the bullshit that comes to that and not be able to go,
nobody wants
Sarah.
this.
Do you want it?
Nobody wants this. Absolutely not. Imagine someone calling you.
Yeah. We have a rep that Sarah told me one time, she was like, oh, well, she used to have her own store or whatever. And I'm like, that's so funny. I feel like I don't hear about that as often about people going from being store owners to reps because I think technically you do make more money if you own your own store or something. And Sarah was
Depends
like,
if you do it well.
And Sarah was like, well, I think she just enjoys doing this job more. And I'm like, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a more enjoyable job than owning a bridal store.
I wish I could just play with flowers every day.
Same. I wish.
But I can't.
So many times I wish I was a
today
stylist.
I spent so much of the day problem solving, working on flower orders, updating contract details, with clients. Like, it's not fun.
No, but nobody does it as well as you.
Well, thanks.
I mean, you're kind of killing it. So, like, we have our roles.
Yeah, I feel very beaten down sometimes, and I feel good,
You're
good.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Next week, we're going to have Jack from our sister company, Florida Fizz Bartending. We're going to talk about cocktails, private parties, funny stories from parties, and lots of good drinks. Until next time, gowns, gimlets, and good vibes only.